right?
No. Mayor of Easttown was a standalone with Kate Winslow. Have you watched it?
I have not.
Okay. I thought the first season was pretty good, but again, it's
Chase said it ran its course. Keith says not a fan.
Yeah.
Chase says it's turned into a soap opera in his opinion.
I didn't realize it's 5 seasons deep now.
Yeah. Ran its course, apparently, according to the chat room.
Now, a seal walked into a bar, or a technical term. It had glumped into a bar. The creature was apparently lost, curious, well below New Zealand's legal drinking age. It lodged itself under the dishwasher, showed no interest in leaving in a wet, lazy Sunday evening when the baby fur seal waddled into the Spring and Fern Meadows Craft Beer Bar in Richmond, the top of New Zealand's South Island. Accustomed to seeing animals in the pet-friendly bar, co-owner Bella Evans assumed the visitor was a dog before she took a closer look and was in shock that it was a seal. Patron grabbed a sweater, tried to usher the seal out of the back door. Evading its pursuers, creature dashed into a restroom and then hid under the dishwasher.
Oh, that's sad. He's scared.
Another customer fetched a dog crate from home, and Evans made a plan to lure the visitor out of its hiding place using pizza topping the pub was offering as a special. There was a brief wait for conservation rangers to arrive. It turned out they were already tracking wandering seal. Quote, it was their fourth call of the day. They've been driving around New Build subdivision trying to find the baby seal. Now, New Zealand's conservation agency confirmed it received numerous reports from the public about a seal spotted in Richmond on Sunday before it turned up at the pub.
You know, seals are largely ugly animals, I would say. But it's funny how a baby seal can be kind of cute. That's a cute little animal right there.
I like seals and sea lions. I think they're cool.
Well, but they're ugly.
Not really.
Okay. Well, it's my taste. You can't tell me they're not ugly.
Shark like
I wouldn't date a seal or a sea lion. Would you, Tyler?
Oh, well, now you're going too far.
Oh.
Now, the seal was released nearby Rabbit Island, considered a safe location because of its dog-free status. So there you go. Safe as we know right now.
That's good to hear.
Great White will probably get it in the next couple of weeks.
I'm glad the seal. Did you like Seal the musician, Tyler?
Not
he
bad.
He had one song, right?
He had that one song. I prefer the Super Bowl commercial that came out where Seal was a seal.
Yeah, so he's not a one-hit wonder?
No,
Seal?
he had more.
Okay. I would have considered Seal a one-hit
wonder.
You
think Heidi Klum is going to get married to a one-hit wonder?
Yeah. Never know.
57-year-old Canadian man has been arrested and charged with assault for blowing snow at another person after a dispute.
God, could you imagine living there? I don't know where this is.
It ain't good.
It ain't good, though.
Now, the holiday season is supposed to be a time of the year when spirits are at their highest. Everyone gets along in a friendly manner. However, here we go. In Canada, there have been a few people upset out and about before Christmas really kicks in. At the start of the month, police in Ontario, Canada, were called after one resident put up signs about Santa being fake during the town's annual Christmas parade. They were made to take the signs down. Why would somebody do this?
Yeah, I mean, really.
Now,
it's the end game here.
Over in St. Marie, Ontario, 57-year-old Christopher Wright was arrested, charged with assault after spraying a victim with snow from a snowblower. As per the police, Wright had gotten into an argument with the victim, who is known to him, before intentionally directing snow from a snowblower at them. Wright was arrested by police shortly after 9 a.m. on December 7th, with the victim being unharmed by the snow that was
the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown,
Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
There is no crazier sport than college football. I mean, that's just a given. I don't think you can argue that in the totality of everything involved, college football is the craziest sport there is.
Well, what leads to crazy is emotion, right? And there is not a sport that has more emotion than college football. Now, overseas, the Premier League, I don't watch a lot of that. I'll walk into a local pub for Sunday brunch, and they will be there. And I know they throw the Moftal cocktails.
Yeah.
And so,
that's different level.
That probably matches our emotion. I mean, you watch a lot of Jeeves, you watch a lot of that. Those guys are pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, I think you're going to the Liverpool bar as well.
That's where Lance was when somebody threw a Molotov cocktail.
No.
Imaginary?
I've seen that on TV.
Oh, okay.
Not at the place. I haven't even seen a confrontation there. I'm just saying they show up in droves at 8 in the morning on a Saturday to watch a 1-0 game. They sit there forever and ever and ever to watch nobody score. So they're pretty emotional.
But I'm just saying, college football also brings you the random Wednesday afternoon where you're minding your own business and your phone blows up because one of the blue blood premier of the bluest of blood premier programs has fired their coach because he was having an inappropriate relationship, and then just hours later the coach is detained by police. I mean, college football never sleeps. There is never a downtime in college football. It just never stops.
I'll tell you, the first time I heard Sherrone Moore was dismissed was the Pete Nakos, and it was on our text thread.
Yeah. As soon as I got it, I sent it to the text thread because it was just so out of left field.
Yeah, and I didn't even click on it. I just saw it, and I could tell that it was official. But the only thing in my mind was, okay, this is with cause. What has he done?
Yeah, well, when you see with cause, what's the first thing you assume?
You think of inappropriate relationship.
Yeah. Yep. Anytime a coach is fired with cause, the very first assumption is inappropriate relationship, because we're in a world now where it's really hard to break NCAA rules bad enough to get fired.
Yeah, and look, and I believe this, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think 90% of coaches, if you really dug into them, you probably could find with cause.
Sure.
There probably is something there. Back when Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M was trying to get out of that deal, they were digging around, and fortunately for Jimbo, they didn't find anything.
If you want to believe somebody was living clean, Jimbo Fisher has to be like, I was living clean.
Yeah.
I mean, they owed me $75 million.
Well, and Brian Kelly, when he was getting fired in the 38 or 43, I forgot because I confused it with James Franklin, they were digging and they thought they had found with cause. I think it was such bad PR, they kind of just let that ship sail. But when you heard about Sherrone Moore, you're like, damn, something's there. And then it takes another degree of weirdness.
Even stranger turn. A wild, wild, wild story that will send shockwaves through all of college football, potentially. We'll discuss that. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway gave it an effort today. Scott is the only one. Tyler, if I could get Scott's microphone, is the only one that heard Jim talk. Scott, you described Jim's voice as how?
So I got up here, and Jim was actually doing show prep. But his voice, he sounded like what he probably thinks the Dark Knight sounds like.
Oh, okay. Bane you're talking about,
Christian
right?
Christian Bale or Bane?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. I never liked that when they changed his voice for Batman. I never understood that part of it. Just talk normal.
Yeah, because Bruce Wayne didn't talk like that.
Why does Batman have to talk like this?
Got to be separate people.
I know, but why like this?
But nobody goes, hey, that Batman guy sounds a lot like Bruce Wayne.
You know who he sounds like? That billionaire down the road.
I mean, Gotham was big, but you could tell, like, jaw structure and everything who it was.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Bale always sounded like he was out of breath when he was doing that. Why are we chasing the Joker around town? He always sounded like he was out of breath to me.
Yeah, and then he's interrogating the Joker. And he just keeps going, "Where's Harvey Dent?"
He did say he feels a lot better.
Good.
But the voice sounds like
voice
crap.
just not there. Well, hopefully Dunaway will be back with us tomorrow. If not, it'll be next week. Lance is here. I'm here. Tyler, Scott, Brooks, everyone is here, and we appreciate you joining us on the show today. The Sherrone Moore firing is going to send shockwaves because this is a big job.
Oh, it's massive.
They have no reason just to settle and promote an assistant. Incidentally, that's how you got in this situation. So, I think you've got to pause and say, okay, is there an assistant on this staff we can just promote and mend this thing? Yeah, there probably is. But by the way, we're in this situation because when Jim Harbaugh left, we just promoted an assistant because Harbaugh left so late in the game.
They're not promoting an assistant.
No, why would you?
This is going to be major ripples, in my opinion. And,
right.
I heard, and you probably heard the same thing, that Michigan knew about this inappropriate relationship for a while, but they wanted to hold that signing class together last week.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unfortunate for those guys, holding those guys hostage.
Well, you want to talk about wool over the eyes.
But I guess they've got an out right now, right? Like, there's so many different rules with the portal and stuff. I don't know what that is.
There are no rules anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can go anywhere you want. The portal opens January 2, regardless of whether a coach is dismissed or fired or whatever. That's when the portal opens. So anybody that's on Michigan's team that wants to hit the portal, January 2 is the day they'll hit it. Of the job, I was going to say of the job openings, LSU, all right, let's just say LSU, Florida, Michigan were all still open at the same time. You would go LSU first or Michigan first?
Boy, this is going to be
Florida's third, right?
This is going to be so divided on where your allegiances are in college football and what you really believe. Like, there are Michigan fans listening to us right now that are like, this is easy. There are LSU fans listening saying this is easy. I think it's LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just seen more success recently from LSU than I have from Michigan, but Michigan just won a national championship.
The entire cycle, this is the best job, second best job in your opinion that is open. Some would say the best. So it's going to draw some
it's better
attention.
than Penn State. And,
yes,
and
I would take Michigan
had
over Penn State.
Joel Klatt, who we respect his opinion as much as anyone's, he told us when all these jobs were opening up, Penn State was better than Florida at that particular time. So, if he believes that, I think there might be something to it. So I would have gone LSU, Michigan. I still would go Florida, Penn State.
Forrester says Lane Kiffin has a chance to do the funniest thing ever. It would be so lame to do this. I don't think Michigan wants Lane Kiffin.
There's no way.
There's no way. But if he did, that would be so Lane Kiffin.
You can't hire Lane Kiffin after you fired a coach for having an inappropriate relationship with a staffer.
You got to go super safe on that one, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And Michigan is way too blue blood. They're way too uppity.
Yeah.
They do think that their job is the best job. They think it's better than Ohio State. They think their program is the best thing that's ever happened. It's a very, very good program. It's a very, very good job. I want to ask you this, and I think we know the answer. If Michigan is 10-2 and they're playing next week, is he still the coach?
If they had beaten Ohio State and they're in the college football playoff, yes, he's still the coach. I mean,
that's the sad reality.
The sad reality of college athletics is this girl, whoever this staffer is, and listen, their name.
We've seen pictures,
we've seen photos, and there's a name out there, and I don't doubt that it's true, but I'm not going to use the name. This staffer gets a big check yesterday, or 2 days ago, or 2 weeks ago, or a month ago, leaves that job, never works again in her life, and Sherrone Moore's the coach at Michigan today. That's the sad reality, yes. Michigan was frustrated with the direction of the program. They had the needed ammunition to get rid of the coach that was leading that program, and now they're out clean, and nobody can point the finger and say, wait, you fired this guy too fast. Our hands were tied. We had to fire the guy, right? I mean, yeah, there's no doubt. And Michigan's not alone in that, by the way. You could go to a lot of football programs in this exact same scenario, and if they're in the college football playoff and had just beaten their rival and played for a conference championship, their coach survives this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And talking to a Michigan fan a couple of weeks ago, we have got to get rid of Moore. He is not a good coach. He's not the right fit. Little premature in my opinion, but when you watch the product, it does look a lot different from what you saw with Jim Harbaugh.
Terrible offense.
Now, you go back to Jim Harbaugh's early days, and, there were some rocky moments here and there. And, it got to a point, I remember us talking about on the show, like, he has, for at least what he's being paid, remember they had to restructure his contract, that he has underachieved to that particular point. And then, what did he do? He ended up getting a national championship, and then he goes on to the NFL. But and there's so many dominoes because Bryce Underwood, your number one quarterback, your number one player coming out last year.
Right.
Is there any chance he stays?
I mean, I saw some LSU people. I think Matt Moscano was one of them talking about this, and I'm like, I didn't watch Bryce Underwood this year and think, I got to get that guy. I mean, now look, he's a freshman to be fair, so there's plenty of room for growth. But I mean, he would not be the most coveted quarterback in the portal. Like, if he hit the portal today, he wouldn't be the most coveted quarterback, would he? Would you take Sam Leavitt or Bryce Underwood?
I mean, I would take Sam Leavitt. But, I mean, there's so much upside with Bryce Underwood. Like, watching him,
upside.
I continue to say, and I cannot believe I'm bringing this guy up back-to-back days, but Anthony Richardson, there was like it's almost like he's trying to aim the football when he throws it, but his physical skills are crazy. And obviously that's what a lot of people have been banking this on. And I think it was Luganville that said this on our show when Underwood was trying to decide between Michigan and LSU. The high school competition for Underwood wasn't much. You know, I think it was inner city Detroit.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything like you get in the South or the West Coast or in Texas. So there was going to be some growing pains there. I don't remember him ever showing having a wow game where you're like, damn, that guy is going to be the next thing.
Dustin Hayes says something I immediately thought of. I wonder if Matt Campbell wishes he had waited a week. Matt Campbell's the coach at Penn State. I don't know that Michigan would hire him, but I don't know that they wouldn't either. I'd rather have Michigan than Penn State. I mean, we'll talk about the candidates because they're betting odds, obviously. Now, again, I'll point out.
I mean, I bet his furniture's not moved yet. I don't know if he signed the contract.
It looks so weird seeing him just in a suit without the worn out Bubba Curve hat. He just looks – he's one of those guys – like, did you ever, when you were growing up, I grew up in a smaller town than you. You grew up in Homewood, so this may not have happened in Homewood. But if you grew up in a small town like me, this happened to you before. You went to a wedding or a funeral, and the guy that had the blue-collar job, the mechanic, the landscaper, he was wearing a suit, and he looked super uncomfortable in the suit.
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable with the suit either, but he just looked like super uncomfortable, like he was wearing a straitjacket. The tie was all loosened. It was an ill-fitting suit.
Well, just look at any defendant in a court case. Or most
that's
of
right.
them.
Yeah, it's like the first time they'd ever won a suit, and that's the way Matt Campbell looked at that. It was a nice suit and all, but he just looked so uncomfortable in it, like he wanted to be in a golf shirt and his Bubba Curve hat.
So last night I was at the Monday morning quarterback because our friend Clay was speaking, and it was up at the club, and there was a lot of different conversations about the Sherrone Moore firing. I mean, that was obviously the buzz, and the natural reaction is you know who they're going after.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's first do a couple of commercials because there are betting odds, and then I've got the CBS list. The same name's going to be at the top of those, by the way. Odie's brings you this part of the show. We were there last night. Also, it was a fun time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the question was last night.
Asked it.
Yeah. What came first? Backroom, you guys are more than welcome to
especially since I know the answer.
Chime in here. The first ever Heisman Trophy winner or the Twinkie?
See, first Heisman winner was 1936.
I think Twinkie was a few years before that.
And I bet it's never changed, by the way.
So the first Heisman Trophy winner was actually Jay Berwanger at University of Chicago.
Yeah.
Of course.
1935.
35, okay, I was close.
The Twinkie, 1930.
And I guarantee it's not changed. I bet the same Twinkie you got in 1930 is the same one you get now.
It's probably still good.
Yeah,
probably
so.
is.
It never dies.
Probably is. These are the little factoids you learn when you come out to Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night. The original location in Crestline, newish location in Edgewood. We'll be out there next Wednesday night for a tasting with our friends at Company Distilling. So mark that down. We'll give you more information on that. But if you're just looking for a great lunch, stop in, get that bowl of chili with a side of grilled cheese, ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff, Birmingham Institution, Odie's Tap.
And if you're looking for a great Christmas idea, the Pants Store is a great Christmas idea. The Pants Store, you can find them online, pantstore.com, pantstore.com. 12 days of deals, day 9. Today is December 11th. If you're watching this live or listening to us on demand on December 11th, 20% off men's clothing today. They've got a deal, the 12 days of deals, every single day right there leading up to the week of Christmas. You can find that at pantstore.com, pantstore.com. All their brands, all their styles, the collegiate patch collection they've got, immensely popular among the young ladies, the game day gear for both men and women. You can see it all online with all the great brands there at pantstore.com, pantstore.com. I told the story yesterday of how popular and famous the Pants Store is. My daughter is a student at South Alabama. 2 out-of-state kids. One of the first things they said to my daughter was, you lived in Birmingham, you got the Pants Store. This place is known like worldwide. And it's right here in Birmingham. Pantstore.com, pantstore.com for their great locations and to shop for Christmas. All right, well, the same coach that is the betting favorite is the same guy I looked at. The first list I pulled up today, CBSSports.com. And I saw another one on ESPN. They're all the same. Kalen DeBoer is at the top of all these lists. The Alabama head coach, who was rumored to be a candidate at Penn State. There was probably interest on the Penn State part. There wasn't on Kalen DeBoer's part. But Michigan is a bit of a different animal than Penn State. His name's going to be at the top of this list. As an Alabama fan told me earlier today, I like my coach being wanted by everyone, but it sure does get annoying when it's all I'm hearing for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, and this is not surprising, and I know Jedd Fisch is another guy that's been mentioned, but if you're Michigan right now, if you're a Michigan fan, if you're on the board, boy, there is such a difference in Jedd Fisch and Kalen DeBoer, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of shocked that everybody was excited about Jedd Fisch possibly taking the Florida job before Summerall got it. And I mean, I don't think Kalen DeBoer would take this job, but he does have a Michigan tie.
What's his Michigan tie?
Eastern Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying they're familiar.
He's been in that state.
I mean, they're familiar with the area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes people fall in love with certain places, right?
Yeah, I guess. Listen, the feedback Dunaway got from Kalen DeBoer, and Jim talked about this, from Kalen himself, by the way, and I had gotten similar feedback from a very close friend of Kalen's. It's a mutual friend that we all have with Kalen DeBoer. And this is what he told Jim, and he told my friend, is he doesn't want to move his family again. He's tired of dragging his family all over America. They were in Bloomington, Indiana for a couple of years, and they were Fresno, California for a couple of years, and they were Seattle, Washington for a couple of years. That has an impact on your family, and that his family likes Tuscaloosa, that the rumors of their unhappiness in Tuscaloosa are, at a minimum overstated, at a maximum completely untrue. And, that doesn't change just because the job is Michigan. You're still moving your family, whether it's Michigan or not. If that's truly what's driving you, is that you're happy where you are and you don't want to move your family, then Michigan or Notre Dame or Ohio State, that doesn't really change that. You got to move your family for those jobs. Now, does being the coach at Michigan overpower that? I don't see. Maybe I'm naive. I don't see a big difference being the coach at Michigan to the coach at Alabama. Those are one and the same to me.
Yeah. No, it's
like, what's the difference?
Well, and much like, so Lincoln Riley is another one of these names that's being linked.
Number 3 on this list I got from CBS.
Is there a big difference between USC and Michigan?
I would say the big difference right now in USC and Michigan is I think USC is a bit of a misfit in the Big Ten, and I do think the travel issues and things like that are going to catch up with USC a little bit. The length of travel, I think that is difficult to manage. But as far as history of the program, perceived resources and all that, no, I wouldn't say there's a big difference.
I mean, when you look at Kalen DeBoer and you look at Lincoln Riley and you look at their stops and where they've been, I mean, the big difference there is Kalen DeBoer has much more of an emphasis on defense. And I cannot imagine Michigan hiring Lincoln Riley with how leaky the defenses have been.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I mean, it seems like a weird fit.
Yeah, that's the name that stood out to me as a very, very strange fit.
Ryan.
Yes.
Lance, quick thought on this. How much do you buy into the Michigan man thing at Michigan?
I laugh at it.
Well, I'm looking through their coaching history here, and the only coach that has never had a tie to being a former assistant or playing there as a head coach was Rich Rodriguez, literally all the way back until the early 1900s.
That's not a great argument against the Michigan man because that was a disaster of a hire. But
so, I mean, is there anybody out there that has like legitimate Michigan ties, former assistant coach or former player?
Yeah, I mean, former assistant coach Jesse Minter. Now, I don't know if Minter played there, and that is, I mean, and that's kind of an obvious, like, his defenses were so good, and he's obviously with Harbaugh now with the LA Chargers, the defense coordinator.
Still good defenses there, by the way.
Yeah, and he's young, he's aggressive. I mean, that's where I would look. That is realistic to me. And I think Jim Harbaugh would give him his blessing and like, hey, this is why you're doing what you do right now, is to ultimately have your own program that you're running. So that's the direction I would go. You could go on and lock that thing down. We'll see what the Chargers do. They're probably going to be in the postseason. But I think he probably could work both.
Yeah. I'm Brooks, I mean, I would just answer this for Michigan the same way I would about everybody. I've never understood why when you have a coaching search, one of the first things people look at is attachment to the school, connection to the school. I'm like, that should not matter. You go get the best coach if you're Michigan, right? I don't care if he's coached at Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Fresno State. I don't care where it is. If he's the best coach, I'm hiring that guy whether he has ever set foot in Ann Arbor or not. I'm going to hire the best coach for the job. I've never understood so-and-so played here. Well, he's 500 at his current job. Yeah, but he played here. But he's 500 at his current job. They want to fire him there. Yeah, but he played here. I'm like, well, that makes no sense whatsoever. What does that matter at all?
Yeah, I mean, a guy that looks the fit is Brian Kelly.
Well, he's all right. So let me throw these names
go
out.
through your
Here's
list.
CBS. Do you have the betting odds?
I don't, but I can get them.
Okay. I know Kalen DeBoer was the very first betting odds I saw. Kalen DeBoer was at the top of them, and I don't know what the number was, but I just know he was at the top of them. Right. The second name mentioned by CBS is Marcus Freeman. Now, Freeman is actually leading the betting odds of another job right now, and that's the New York Giants.
Yeah, if you're Freeman, why do you leave Notre Dame to go to Michigan? Because, the complication with Notre Dame has been, and look, I mean, there is one positive that Michigan's got that Notre Dame doesn't, the conference affiliation to the Big Ten, but the one negative has been admissions, and you've got to recruit a different athlete. Well, that's the same thing with Michigan.
Yeah. Lincoln Riley has mentioned you've discussed him. Jed Fish has mentioned you discussed him.
Yeah, I've got it right here. DeBoer is your favorite at 4-1.
4-1, all right.
Jesse Minter is actually number 2 at 5-1.
Can I pause real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Was DeBoer ever the favorite for the Penn State job?
No.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so Jesse Minter is second.
Yeah, Joe Brady after that at 6-1. I mean, and these are the way these odds show me is they've just put this list together, and there's really. They haven't really thought this thing out.
They weren't ready for the Michigan job to be open.
Jed Fish, 7-1. Jeff Brom, 8-1, who just said he's a Louisville man and he ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
I bet he would go to Michigan. Kenny Dillingham, I got to laugh every time I read that, 9-1.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, 9-1. Brian Dable, 10-1. Dan Mullen, 10-1. Marcus Freeman, 12-1. PJ Fleck's on here.
Okay, he was on the CBS list as well. I was going to get to him. PJ Fleck, kind of out of sight, out of mind at Minnesota. Like, that guy's kind of flown under the radar. He was mentioned for a lot of jobs several years ago, but you don't hear his name as much. But he's still at Minnesota, and they're still.
Yeah, look, and I think if you investigate, 90% of coaches could get fired with calls. PJ Fleck's got a little history. Seems like he hasn't, he's been walking the straight and narrow for a long time. I don't know what your thoughts on PJ Fleck are. Row the boat. It's so hokey.
Never fired me up.
But he is a solid coach.
He has never fired me up. Like, anytime one of these big jobs comes open and I see his name, I put myself in that fan base and I'm like, I would not be excited about this hire.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they're going to ultimately. I mean, is Jesse Minter going to excite you?
It wouldn't excite me. Like, if I'm a Michigan fan.
Will it excite you in the same way that when Sherrone Moore was named your head coach?
I would be more excited about Minter. But if I'm a Michigan fan, I do remember how dominant those defenses were under Jim Harbaugh. And that part of it excites me. I'm like, he's bringing that back, but I'm going to want to know his offensive game plan.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you win the press conference, and again, that never really matters, is Kalen DeBoer, Lincoln Riley, I think. Kalen DeBoer for sure.
I mean, Marcus Freeman would.
Marcus Freeman would 1,000%.
I don't think you'll pull that.
That's about it.
Brian Kelly.
I don't think you would.
It's damaged goods now. I mean, I think if you pull Brian Kelly from Notre Dame.
Brian Kelly's lost a lot of steam.
He has.
Ryan Grubb's on this list.
Ryan Grubb?
25-1.
Have they watched the last month of football?
Biff Poggi, who will take over the interim, is actually the exact same odds as Ryan Grubb.
There's no Biff Poggi line. We talked about a DJ Durkin line. Yep. We talked about a who was the other line we talked about?
Penn State.
The Penn State line. The Smith line. There's no Biff Poggi line.
No. Michigan would not allow that.
No.
I wonder how much Michigan's willing to pay. Like, are we about to get into a stratosphere when I brought up the fact that Notre Dame came out and said we will match whatever the NFL offers Marcus Freeman? Are we about to have a $20 million coach just because of all of the movement?
Just because of the openings? Now, Scott throws out a name, or somebody threw out a name in the chat room. It's moving too fast. I thought Scott did, but it could be someone else, or it could have been multiple people. So I'm going to give almost anyone credit here. And it's an interesting name in a couple of realms. Tell us about Inverness Country Club and then we'll discuss this
Well,
name.
You tell us about Inverness.
I was there yesterday.
You were playing out there yesterday. How was the course?
The course is in fantastic shape. Greens are nice and fast. Good
Always
fast
is.
greens.
How was that clubhouse?
Clubhouse was terrific. I enjoy the food there.
I haven't been in about a month, so is everything decorated real nice?
They got the Christmas decorations up. Looks beautiful in there.
Yeah, look, so this is, I'm telling you guys, if you are, or for the women out there listening, if your husband is a big golfer, at least inquire about a membership with our friends at the Inverness Country Club, because they've got something for everyone, for mom, for dad, for the kids. Just imagine this summer being able to go to that resort-style pool and the full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday nights, childcare right there. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kids? Whatever your interests are, you can find it with our friends at Inverness. Golf for the guy, the social club for the wife. Again, everybody is a win-win here. Fitness center. Take a tour of the club today. Call Erin. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. or online, ICCalabama.com.
And our guy, Alexander Shinara, Trial Attorneys. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, Alexander Shinara is the place to go, Shinara.com. Shinara.com for Alexander Shinara. This is a Birmingham guy, Birmingham born and bred, and wanted to make sure he took care of his community of Birmingham, and he has done just that, building a firm over the 24 years he's done this that has grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. So when you find yourself in need of an attorney, that may not be ideal circumstances, you need a guy that knows what he's doing. Shinara.com, Shinara.com. You pay nothing unless they win your case with Alexander Shinara at Shinara.com. There's one guy that we talk about, has he signed his deal yet? And I wonder if he signed his deal yet, because not only is this job open, but this guy is the perfect fit if Marcus Freeman takes the Giants job. I think he'd be a good fit in this job. He's the perfect fit in the Notre Dame job should it come open. I wonder if Clark Lee has signed his paperwork yet.
So again, and I might reference this 10, 15 times because there was so much going on last night at the quarterback club meeting up at the club. But met a big Vanderbilt guy up there.
He's the one, huh?
Yeah, and just talking about Clark Lee and the commitment to the program, I really don't think Clark Lee would take it.
Wow. You think Clark Lee would say no to Michigan and Notre Dame to stay at Vanderbilt? We truly live in an upside-down universe.
We do, but, you know, just based on some of the things that I've heard about Clark Lee and how important it is for him to get Vanderbilt on the map, to keep them on the map. Look, I mean, you know, maybe not. I mean, how many opportunities would you get in your lifetime to be the coach at Michigan?
Oh, this would probably be it.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be it. And if Notre Dame comes open, that's probably the only option you've got to be the Notre Dame coach. You actually missed the last option when you left, and then Brian Kelly left a year later. Clark Lee would be the Notre Dame coach today had he stayed. And I'm convinced he would be very successful based on what I've seen at Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I bet he signed, but I could be wrong.
He may have. I don't know. I'm sure there's always a way out of these contracts. They've all got a buyout in them. It's just when you exercise it, right?
I mean, but Clark Lee, you think about it, you know, and they've gotten a little NIL, nothing like Michigan's got, but the academic standards you've got to deal with. I mean, Clark Lee, you know, building a program, I mean, you've already got the talent assembled at Michigan. So Clark Lee would be a great call. Is that? I didn't even see odds on Clark Lee.
Oh, I don't know that there are because he just did the extension at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think that would be a really, really good fit. I just don't know if he would take it.
Yeah. God, that's an upside-down world if a guy chooses to stay at Vanderbilt.
I mean, it would be this,
Michigan
though.
or Notre Dame.
Like, okay, but why would you go to Michigan?
Well, I mean, I think all these coaches and Clark Lee has got one of them. All of them have tried to imagine what it would be like to one day coach at one of the primo jobs. And no matter what you do at Vanderbilt, it's never going to be a primo job. You can turn it into the best job it's ever been, and Clark Lee's probably already done that.
Well, there are
but it's never going to be a blue blood primo job.
I mean, a couple of reasons. If I'm Clark Lee, I would look at something like this, if he hasn't signed his contract, is if you ever want to win a national championship, I'm still going to say it is impossible at Vanderbilt.
It's more possible than it's ever been, but I would tend to agree with you. It is impossible.
And then the other, you know, watching Vanderbilt, Tennessee this year, I mean, look, it might turn into a fun rivalry, but then when you turn on Michigan and Ohio State and you hear
it's a different world.
it is and to be able to coach in those games, you know, I guess Clark never really played in those games.
I'm just saying, Joey McGuire at Texas Tech. I'm not saying he's a candidate for this job at all. I'm just saying, I'm using him as an example. Texas high school football coach. He probably never dreamt he'd coach anywhere like Texas Tech. But you know where he dreamt one day he would coach? A place like Notre Dame or Michigan. He was a high school coach. He's like, man, one day maybe I could be there. It's just, you don't.
Did you know Clark Lee played baseball at Birmingham Southern?
I think I might have heard that before.
I didn't know until I met Vandy Don last night.
Vandy Don?
Yeah.
At the Birmingham, the Monday Morning Quarterback
Monday
Club.
Morning Quarterback Club, and they were telling me, and I didn't realize our man Frank Bromberg sold Clark Lee his engagement ring when he was an assistant for Rick Neuheisel.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to reference this a lot, but there's a lot going on, and it all comes back to this point. But Clark Lee just seems like a guy that it just maybe Michigan wouldn't matter, but I could be completely wrong.
Bradley sums this up better than I did. Vandy just had their best 2 years in school history, and they still struggle to fill a 30,000-seat stadium in a massive city.
There's Clark Lee's baseball shot.
Well, that's the Bruins. It's not Birmingham Southern. Boy, he has not really aged much. Look at him, man. He still kind of looks the same.
Yeah, look, played his freshman year, Birmingham Southern.
Won a D3 national championship. I learned it last year because he talked about his Birmingham tie-in when they played in the Birmingham Bowl, and I covered the press conference there.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish you would have relayed that to us.
Yeah, he and Tech's head coach, who I keep forgetting his name.
Georgia Tech, Brent Key?
Brent Key. They both had Birmingham tie-ins because Brent Key's from Trussville.
He's, literally from Trussville.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty fascinating, though. Can you imagine telling him one day, sitting there in that uniform, in that composite shot, hey, you're going to have an opportunity to maybe coach Michigan one day.
That's right. I'm a Birmingham Southern first baseman. What you talking about?
Again, we're jumping ahead of this because I would assume that he has signed his contract, but if not, I would hate it for Vanderbilt.
I'd kick the tires.
Yeah, I would
if I was Michigan. All right, we got much more to get to on the show today, much more to get to tonight. We got some NFL action. I'm sure you'll have a play on that at Lance's Luck, always presented by Hemp Hill.
Yes, we've got action tonight. Foresters Falcons taking on Jim's Bucks. That will be the game. We will have side, possibly total, possibly props, college hoops, NBA hoops, all up and available. Free play every single day at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. You can always go online, hemphillservices.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
We continue on the Next Round. Multiple people have sent in the chat, text, on social media as well. I guess this matters. The general manager of Alabama football is Courtney Morgan, who has a Michigan tie. He was, by the way, the general manager at Michigan. Not just a tie, it's his alma mater, but he also served as a general manager when they won the national championship. He was the GM with Jim Harbaugh. So Courtney Morgan does have a significant tie there.
And offensive lineman for the Wolverines, 99 to 2003, part of 2 Big Ten championship teams. You know, he's got DeBoer's ear on a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. Like, if Kalen DeBoer had interest in this job, all he's got to do is walk down the hall and sit down with Courtney Morgan and say, tell me everything about it, right? I mean, that's a guy that could certainly influence this. You don't know if Courtney Morgan would want to go back there or not, or would try to convince Kalen DeBoer that it's a good idea or not. It's just a point we're making is that this guy does have significant Michigan ties, Courtney Morgan. So, listen, this is certainly going to play out for quite a while, because, or not, maybe not quite a while. The portal does open January 2nd. And that's one thing the transfer portal has done for us, Lance. Do you remember how long coaching searches used to take back in the day? They were so brutal when it was one that was in your, when we were in radio in our listening area, whether it was an Alabama search or an Auburn search, they'd drag on for 30 or 40 days sometimes because there was no fear in losing a roster back then, and they were miserable. And now coaching searches go just like that. They're gone.
Our friend Charlie Vitella,
big Michigan guy,
reminds me that Jesse Minter has a show calls.
Details.
It expires in April. I don't know how much that would factor in.
It wouldn't factor in with me at all. I would look at that like the Bruce Pearl hire at Auburn. Bruce Pearl also had a show call.
Yeah.
And you know what Auburn said? That's the best basketball coach we can get. We'll work around it. And if you're Michigan and you believe that Jesse Minter is the best football coach you can get, you work around that.
So apparently Lane Kiffin has responded to the Michigan job?
No, he hasn't. This is AI. I'm going to need independent verification. I can't trust you. It's not AI Lane Kiffin talking about it, is it?
I mean, apparently Portnoy from Barstool tweeted at Kiffin. Kiffin tweeted something back.
Well, what did he say?
How much did LSU pay at Lane Kiffin? Let's just double it. He'd leave, reunite him with Underwood. And then Lane Kiffin responded, some emojis instead at Stool President. You # come to the boot. Together we can't be beat.
Yeah. So he's saying, you just be an LSU fan.
Yeah.
You know who loves that attention, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure does.
It's going to be old Lane Kiffin.
Even when he's got his job.
I know even when he's got his job, I still want the attention. So we'll see. We'll see who the coach is there. There are certainly plenty of names that are thrown around out there, as we always point out. Many times that very first list of names, you never find the eventual coach on there. Sometimes it's super obvious, sometimes it's not. And there isn't a real obvious one for Michigan. Like we mentioned it, if you're looking for the quote-unquote Michigan man, which I think is a dumb way, Scott is showing you Lane Kiffin there. So it is legitimate.
Man, you know, the fallout of this, and something we really don't talk about the personal side, but Sherrone Moore, you know, married in 2015.
Oh, very sad, yeah.
So he's just celebrating his 10-year anniversary, and they have 3 daughters together.
I think one very recently born, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so for his wife, Kelly, she probably was like just getting to know everybody in that community again.
Dream situation.
Yeah, dream situation.
Michigan.
Like,
like worst case, he fails and we get $30 million to go live our life somewhere else.
Yeah, like she's showing up at the club to sit down for lunch with friends, and now she can't go to that same club because of the embarrassment.
Yeah, and this is beyond just a coach getting fired for scandal. I mean, again, he is, you know, in police custody. There are plenty of reports about what actually, you know, what happened that led to that. None of those have been confirmed by law enforcement, so you would tread very lightly there because we are dealing with a lot of families here. But if you go read those reports, Lance, I mean, it's an alarming situation, regardless of how much of that is true. It's an alarming situation.
And look, and the sad reality is he's going to have to work this out with his wife if she's willing to, and his family, and there's going to be repercussions for the rest of his life. And for people out there that are like, oh, man, he's fine, he's set, he's fired with cause. And I would assume that they probably got him on the cheap, $6-7 million a year,
if that.
And then you talk about taxes taking half of that, and you know agent fees and everything he's paying out. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he's got $1 million and that's it.
6.1 was what he made. Roughly a $6 million annual deal he signed to be the coach at Michigan, which that is on the cheap in college football terms today.
Yeah, so $12 million. Let's just say that, you know, $5 million goes to taxes. You got $7 million.
Another $500,000 to your agent, probably.
Yeah, you probably spent half of that. I mean, he probably has a couple of $1 million, but he's 39 years old and he's got 3 daughters. I mean, good luck.
Yeah, that's always the side of it that people don't consider or the families involved. And here's the other, you know, the offshoot of that. You got a bunch of assistant coaches that'll be okay. Like Wink Martindale, he'll find another job. Wink Martindale's a respected defensive coordinator, and he's done a tremendous job at Michigan, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of colleges that are in need of a defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale would fill that slot for them. This is a guy that came from the NFL where he was successful, went to the college game, and transitioned very, very well into the college game. But then you've got a lot of these other staffers. They're just minding their own business, doing their job, and today they're about to be out of a gig.
Yep.
Because your coach made poor judgment. And that's very unfortunate.
And it's something more, again, we'll have to live with, and you wonder how long it takes him to work out of this. Like, more than likely, he will never be a sitting head coach again. Now, you know, 10 years ago, I would have said for sure, but, I mean, we just saw Bobby Petrino, the interim coach, for the majority of the year at Arkansas after what went down there. So, like, we are very forgiving, which I think we should be, but I think it's going to take a lot of time in this Sherrone Moore situation. And, boy, just the fallout all over the place in college football is going to be fascinating to see where these pieces fall.
Yeah, there'll be ripples of this if they get the hire right. Now, if they panic and make a bad hire, there won't be ripples. But if they get the hire right, they're going to probably hire a name that is going to create another massive opening somewhere. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Greg Nelson is Greg from Pell City. That's how you know him, Greg from Pell City. Storm Restoration Roofing is his company. And Greg will get up on your roof and tell you if you need a new roof. Chances are maybe it could be delayed just a little bit, and you don't have to spend the money on a new roof. Greg will be honest with you about that. It might be a little dirty. Greg's got a roof cleaning system that can, first of all, make your roof look better while you have it. But secondly, it can help you on insurance claims. As Greg has educated us, a lot of times the insurance agents get up there and the roof has a lot of things growing on it, and it can affect the settlement there. Well, Greg can take care of that, and it's a safe way to wash the roof. You just get a power washer and go up there. You can damage your shingles. Greg knows how to do it. So whether you're in need of a new roof, you've got some storm damage on your roof, or if you've looked at your roof and you're like, boy, it is dirty, I'd kind of like it to look better, call Greg Nelson. Here's his number, 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing, or hit him up on Facebook at Greg from Pell City.
Hey, very close to the weekend, but why wait for the weekend? At our friends at Twin Peaks, they're serving scratch food, pouring quality cocktails every day after dark. Come by the Lodge, experience the best late night in the league today, tomorrow, any other day of the week. Great place to watch Falcons-Bucks tonight with those Twin Peaks girls running around in 3D, serving up the signature 29-degree drafts. Fantastic food. Stop in for lunch or dinner. It's Twin Peaks.
Sometimes we say things on this show, and I'm like, that's kind of a wild thing to say, and will be interesting if it happened, but it's just kind of a wild thing to say. Dunaway said one of those, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, maybe, last week, 2 weeks ago, when Jim said it, I was like, it's not the worst idea in the world, but it's got no legs. It will never happen. Nobody will ever agree to do this.
Okay, when he said it, though, I ran with it.
No, when he said it, you were like, that is a great idea, Dunaway.
It's a fantastic idea. Now, maybe it's coming to fruition.
Maybe it's coming to reality. Dan Wolken of Yahoo Sports. I normally don't consume a lot of Dan's work, but in this case, Dan's got some interesting work. That perhaps athletic directors are going to start freezing out Notre Dame on their future schedules. The reason, according to Dan's reporting, is what Ross Dellinger reported earlier this week as part of a memorandum of understanding signed by college football playoff officials last spring. Notre Dame is assured of making the college football playoff if it is ranked in the top 12 starting next year. So in other words, if what happened this year happened next year, Notre Dame is in no argument because they would be in the top 12. I will also point out the College Football Playoff Committee controls where they're ranked, so they can easily manipulate this. But I digress. According to Dan Wolken, athletic directors are growing tired of Notre Dame's special treatment, and they don't see a reason to help them in any way. So athletic directors may start freezing out Notre Dame. You loved the idea, and now maybe there's some legs to this idea.
Yeah, I love the idea because, look, you don't gain anything from playing Notre Dame. I mean, you just don't. You lose to Notre Dame out of conference. It goes against you. It's not like college basketball where, it is a plus column and it's, I mean, a loss in college basketball sometimes can resonate as a win.
Yeah.
In football, it just doesn't happen. So you don't get anything out of this. And Notre Dame, year in, year out, it's going to be a consensus top 10, top 15 team. So, I mean, why help them out?
Well, I'm going to give you the names of schools that will have to change their course, Lance, if this report by Dan Wolken is true. You ready for this? It's quite a list.
I'm sure it is.
Wisconsin, Michigan State, and I'm going to give you the major ones. Wisconsin, Michigan State, Miami, USC, your favorite school, which that is not – it's not a deal in stone as of right now that those two will continue playing.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, that is the biggest rival for both of those schools. But there's a good chance moving forward unless you get some kind of – if and I don't know about you. I mean, I think the SEC would love to have Notre Dame, but the most natural fit is the Big Ten.
Yeah. Auburn, Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, Indiana, Florida, Florida State. I mean, there are a lot. You get my point, right?
Yeah.
As I start to Michigan, as I start to read through this, they got a lot of games scheduled with a lot of major teams that if they want to have a freeze out, those teams are going to have to buy out of the schedules, or this freeze out's not going to go into effect until sometime around 2030 when everybody's forgotten about all this.
But if this starts to, if you see one, and then it's going to be easier for 2 and 3 and so forth. And if this happens, boy, this is going to jam Notre Dame up. Because if you're Notre Dame, where do you turn for a schedule?
Yeah, I mean, because the teams it benefits to play Notre Dame's are the Miami Ohios of the world, Navy, people like that. Why? Because they can sell out a big venue. Like Navy, they're going to play Notre Dame next year, and I think the game is in the Patriots Stadium. It's in Foxborough.
Well, let's even
Navy doesn't play it at home because Navy can go to Foxborough and make a ton more money playing the game there.
Okay, a team that is on an island, and there is a tie in state because Jamarcus Shepard took the job, Oregon State. Let's look at Oregon State's schedule this year.
It would benefit them tremendously. In fact,
but I'm saying this is kind of the schedule I think Notre Dame would be forced to play.
Yeah, okay.
But just because, the Beavers literally wandering in the wilderness this year.
Yeah.
And didn't have a conference affiliation, so.
Well, this is what they played this year. I'll give you their schedule this year.
And just imagine if this was Notre Dame's schedule.
Cal, Fresno, at Texas Tech, at Oregon, Houston, at Appalachian State, Wake, Lafayette, Washington State, Sam Houston State, at Tulsa, at Washington State. They played a home and home.
Okay, well, the Texas Tech and the Oregon would, if they win those games, would get them in.
I know.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of their wins are atrocious at that point. Oregon State is joining the Pac-12, so they're going to have a little bit of a better schedule, but that is an independent schedule where nobody is really interested in playing you, to your point.
Yeah.
According to, let me swipe back to the chat here real quick.
Ryan, Scott's going to pull up UConn's schedule, who might be a way better
Okay, there you go.
example of this.
All right, here we go. UConn's schedule. So if you were to play UConn's schedule,
which included UAB the last 2 years, a home and home with UAB.
That's right. UConn, keep in mind, is playing football right now as a independent. Central Connecticut, at Syracuse, at Delaware, Ball State, at Buffalo, FIU, at Boston College, at Rice, UAB, Duke, Air Force, at FAU, and Army.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, because it's the Notre Dame brand, if you go 12-0, there's a chance you get in. But if you don't go 12-0, you got no shot.
Army is a bowl game. I'm sorry, so I should not have included that.
That's Jim Moore did spring that into a new job, though, because
he took the Colorado State job.
Who can't go 9-3 with this schedule?
My guys, Colorado State. I was a little surprised he even made that jump, to be honest with you. According to in the chat, I was going back to the chat here. Brandon says he just watched Klatt's most recent podcast. As you remember, Klatt was in Vegas. He joined us from there, the Hall of Fame inductions. And he said, this is according to Brandon. I have not seen Klatt say this, but that Klatt said, according to Brandon on the podcast, every single AD there is done with Notre Dame. He said Notre Dame's on an island, and nobody there said a good thing about them.
Okay, good. Good. I mean, look, the pretentious Notre Dame program were too good to be in a conference. Look, you got away with that for a long time. But it's a different era of college football, and look, it burned you in the ass this year. I mean, you played for the national championship last year, so you're not far removed from it. But moving forward, if everybody does band together, I'll be fascinated. And, I mean, when you hear a story like this and you hear Klatt reporting on it as well, there's got to be some substance to it.
Oh, Klatt would not make this up. I mean, if Klatt is talking to athletics directors at the College Football Hall of Fame and unanimously they're saying we're done with Notre Dame. Now, again, I just read you a very long list of prestigious programs that would have to back out of a game against Notre Dame for this to have any sort of impact prior to 2030.
Financially, what are you obligated to on a back out?
I really don't know. There is a penalty
and there's
got
to be different windows. Like if you get within a year of that game, I bet the penalty obviously goes up more.
Now, I will tell you where this would get a little more intriguing is if the conference commissioners felt the same way about this, and perhaps they do, where the conferences come in and say, if you want to back out, we'll help you with the fees, or we'll cover the fees, or whatever. You know, you can pay us back later. We'll finance it for you at 0%.
I think it makes sense for either the Big Ten or the SEC because realistically, we know the bridge is burned with the ACC, and I mean, honestly, the Notre Dame brand is too big for the ACC. But if you're Greg Sankey and you believe that you could take on some of these costs knowing that Notre Dame ultimately lands in your conference, well worth it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they get frozen out, they have got to find a conference affiliation, and it's got to be one of two landing spots. It's going to be the Big Ten or it's going to be the SEC.
Yeah.
And I wonder if SEC fans would want Notre Dame in the conference.
Well, you got to have Notre Dame. I mean, it's weird with an odd number of teams. I guess you could figure out a way to make it work. You'd probably need Notre Dame plus. And I don't know who the plus would be.
Yeah, but you got an even number right now in the Big Ten.
I don't think they would like it, no. I think the Big Ten people would like it a little bit more. I think the SEC people think we got a good enough conference. Why do we need Notre Dame?
Yeah, but I mean, I think we said the same about when Texas and Oklahoma jumped on board.
Maybe. A little update on something that we've also previously discussed on the show before we get to the viewing menu. A reminder, Central State Bank is the bank that is big enough to meet every single need you have and serve you in any of these needs, and small enough to know you as well. If you're looking for a bank that doesn't just open accounts, they open relationships, people you're dealing with, that's Central State Bank. Family-owned, community-focused, built on trust. For more than 100 years, serving Central Alabama with local decisions and personal service that feels like home. So if you're starting a business, buying a car, or planning for tomorrow, Central State Bank is with you every step of the way. Central State Bank, rooted in community, driven by relationships, member FDIC. USC is going to be kicked out of the Coliseum for at least 1 year because of the Olympics. We had discussed this on a previous show about could they get the Olympic Stadium back, or the Coliseum back to what USC needs. According to Ryan Karchi, of On3 Sports, the 2028 season, they are going to play at SoFi Stadium. And you wonder if this is moving forward their plan. UCLA wants to do it. They want to get out of the Rose Bowl and play at SoFi. Does USC want to do the same thing and go back to sharing a facility?
I mean, I don't know.
Boy, SoFi's going to be busy. They got the Chargers, the Rams, USC, and UCLA.
Yeah, I will
perhaps.
say the Coliseum renovations, I was just there last month, and it was the first time I'd been to a game there in 8 or 9 years, and they've done a lot with it. So, and there's something about it. It's right there on campus. I mean, there's so much history there. I think for UCLA, you have zero buzz when it comes to the program, so maybe a shot in the arm would be playing at SoFi. Maybe a one-off, old school Alabama playing a couple of games in Birmingham, but I think there's something so special about that Coliseum. For it to just sit empty, like what else would you have there?
Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
I mean, the Rose Bowl, you're going to have one, I think 2 games there. There's a high school game that's played at the Rose Bowl, and then the actual Rose Bowl that's played at the Rose Bowl. And that is going to be a massive historic facility that's going to have 2 games a year as of right now.
Yeah.
The SoFi also hosts the LA Bowl, which I find out this morning. We've got the LA Bowl Saturday night. Not a terrible matchup, Boise and Washington. That's the final LA Bowl. That's it. Did you know that?
No,
If you watch Saturday night, you're watching the last LA Bowl.
Okay.
Well, I did not know we were getting our final one.
Probably will watch Saturday night. Got nothing else going on.
I know. I did not know that was our final
Yeah, but
LA
I think
Bowl.
it would be really sad if USC ultimately decided to go full-time to SoFi. That makes no sense.
Yeah. By the way, more updated news. We may have to punt push the viewing menu here. Rosie Langello, who is WSFA in Montgomery, is reporting that according to her sources, and Rosie's tied in pretty good with this program, that Troy will play at Auburn in 2031. How about that? First meeting ever between these 2 in-state programs.
That's hard to believe because, Auburn has always been open to playing state schools. I remember they've played Jacksonville State. They've played Samford.
Yep. But there was always this report that
Did they ever play UAB?
Yeah, UAB played at Auburn, I think.
Okay.
I'm almost certain. But there was always this report that Auburn would never play Troy and Alabama would never play UAB. It looks like that seal is being broken, according to Rosie's reporting.
Different board of trustees, though, right?
But yeah, it is a different board of trustees.
I mean, so that is different.
Yeah. But Troy and Auburn 2031, according to Rosie's sources there. So
again, I think you've always agreed with this. If you're going to play, a Group 5, why would you not keep the money in state?
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but the money is so good now. Even if you go out of state, you make the money, and sometimes you make more. Actually, now you've got travel considerations and things like that. It depends on how the deal's
But I
structured.
also think that there is more of a draw too. Like, when Auburn plays Mercer, I mean, how much bigger of a draw are you going to get with Auburn and Troy?
Oh, much bigger. If it's replacing a Mercer type game, yes, sign me right up for Auburn and Troy. Troy and Jack State renew their old rivalry in the bowl game next Tuesday night down in Montgomery.
How big was that rivalry?
Oh, it was huge back when I was growing up. Huge for that part of the state. I mean, didn't approach the Iron Bowl, but Jack State and Troy, man, they were heated rivals back in the day. That was a big, big game. All right, Connor O'Gara is going to talk college football when we return. And coming up a little bit later on, Dan Orlovsky on the NFL. That's all coming up on the next round.
Follow LT on Twitter @TheLanceTaylor.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians
17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit Urology Centers, Alabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well done service.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We start another hour of The Next Round. Dunaway still a little bit under the weather. Hopefully back with us soon. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Tyler Scott, and Brooks in the back room. Most of the crew here with us. Thank you for joining us from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino studio. It is The Next Round presented by Bud Light. You can get us anywhere on social media at Next Round Live. Make sure you followed and share our content there. We greatly appreciate you sharing as much as you can on social media. And on YouTube, Next Round Live, make sure you have subscribed and set your alerts so you know when we're live. And on all of our audio podcasts, if you could set automatic downloads, that is quite helpful to us as well. Do all those things for Connor O'Gara as well. Saturday Down South. Connor's a friend of the show, been with us a very, very long time. We always appreciate his time. How are you today, Connor? You doing well?
Gentlemen, doing really well. Doing better than Notre Dame, doing better than Michigan, doing better than I think most programs in college football.
It is the sport that never sleeps, is the way we started talking about things on the show today, Connor. I mean, only in college football can you be just minding your own business on a Wednesday and all of a sudden a coach is fired for inappropriate relationship that is in police custody. And it's a serious story, obviously, but you step back and look at it and you're like, yeah, that's very college football right there.
It is. And look, we're a little bit numb to this. We kind of are at this point. And then you see the details that have come out related to the Sherrone Moore arrest, getting into police custody and the process that it reportedly took to get there. And this has turned into a very, very sad story. I mean, it really is. Like someone who seemingly had everything at his fingertips and had a prime opportunity and had done a lot of things to capitalize on that rare window that one can have to get a job that good. And seeing it just go up in smoke the way that it has, it is sad. And I know people are going to poke fun at Michigan because, quite frankly, when you've won a national championship in recent memory, that's the team that everybody's going to want to take shots at. But it's also just how bizarre things have gone at Michigan. Like, even getting into the Matt Weiss stuff and how that played out with, like, the FBI raiding his home and the way that he was fired. Like, Michigan has just been the most bizarre program in college football in the 2020s. I mean, the Connor Stallions thing, of course. I mean, they've already made the documentary about that. Sounds like they could make a documentary about the Sherrone Moore thing, the way that this is all played out. So, yeah, I just have no idea what to make of Michigan anymore, a program that's just gone in every which direction in recent memory.
Well, the fascinating thing is, Connor, we all know that the fallout of this job, like if a sitting coach takes the Michigan job, and look, and if they're going big game hunting, Kalen DeBoer, Lincoln Riley, those are names that we're hearing right now. How realistic do you think it is Michigan can go get one of these sitting coaches?
One of those sitting coaches, I'm not there yet. Now, a sitting coach like an Eli Drinkowitz, maybe a Dan Mullen, maybe a Jed Fish, okay, that's a different story. But, this is messy. This is a really messy situation right now. And, I think every coach is in a different spot. I don't think Lincoln Riley and Kalen DeBoer are in the same spot. But there are still some things that they're going to have to figure out here of what in the world is this program going to look like moving forward, and what are you walking into? I get why Kalen DeBoer has been linked to this job. I understand that he's got the Midwest ties, and people are wondering like, oh, is he really happy at Alabama? If Kalen DeBoer leaves Alabama for Michigan, I'm still going to be stunned. And to me, that would say a lot about him and insecurities, if that does indeed happen. And I'm not saying that it's going to, but think about the reasons that one coach in that job would leave for a place like Michigan. Do you think you're getting fired? Because if that answer is no, then you have no reason whatsoever to leave Alabama. Do you think you're getting fired next year? Is that why you'd be making that move and you want to go to Michigan? You could tell me, oh, they've got more money here, they've got more money there. You didn't sign up to become Nick Saban's successor unless you thought you could win a national championship and unless you thought you had those resources available. So I think there's some backwards logic of why Kalen DeBoer could potentially leave for that. I mean, he shut down the Penn State thing. I don't really see the Michigan job as that much better than Penn State.
And it's not better than Alabama either. I mean, and that's the thing we said about Penn State is, the conventional wisdom to people that were pushing that narrative, Connor, was, boy, ton of pressure in Tuscaloosa. Didn't realize I was in that type of pressure cooker. And I'm having to win a bunch of games, and I'm like, dude, they just fired a guy at Penn State that was in the semifinals last year. There's no more pressure cooker than that. And Michigan's the same exact thing. I mean, that's a massive pressure cooker.
And let's be 100% honest here. Like, I want to be very sensitive to the details that have come out with the Sherrone Moore situation. The question everybody's asking is, would they be doing this right now if they had beaten Ohio State?
No, it's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question. And they're not alone in that, but the answer is no.
Yeah, that's a pressure cooker job too. Yeah. It has driven coaches to insane places. And not just coaches, like, I don't know what you want to call Connor Stallions, but the Michigan job has driven people to insane levels of like unfathomable behavior. And I think you can even include Jim Harbaugh with that. I really do think you can. So I don't think that all of a sudden you go to Michigan and the pressure is just off you like that. No, they fired Rich Rod after 3 seasons too, and he was the worst coach in program history. So yeah, I'm kind of scratching my head trying to figure this out. And I do wonder if there's some Jimmy Sexton to this, and if this is just trying to pull strings and just kind of see where people are at with him.
Away from that, the college football playoff bracket is set. The number 1 overall seed, the Indiana Hoosiers. You're very familiar with them. I saw you a few hours before kick at the hotel next to the Dome, and I just didn't think, and I mentioned this on Monday, I didn't think you were confident at all. I didn't think you believed. I told you Indiana was going to win that game, and do you finally believe Indiana is a legitimate team that can win a national championship?
LT, if I had just listened to you back in July when you told me that Fernando Mendoza was your Heisman pick, think about where my head would be right now. Just think about that. Instead, I have just been the guy who has said at every single turn, guys, this is a fun story. Indiana football. I have earned the right to be able to say that. I truly have. Okay. I lived it. I experienced it. I am now at a different place. I think beating Ohio State changes the conversation, not just because they had not beaten Ohio State in my lifetime. I am a 35-year-old man, and they had not beaten Ohio State.
That's crazy.
They had not. They hadn't won a share of the Big Ten championship since the Lyndon Baines Johnson administration. They hadn't won an outright Big Ten title since 1945. Like, what are we talking about here? I have every right to be skeptical, but I now, for the first time, see a path for Indiana to get to a national championship game. And it's so weird to think that this program is playing the winner of Oklahoma and Alabama in the Rose Bowl. I mean, just a sentence that I never thought I would say in public.
Will you be there?
We're talking about like a video game.
You'll be there. You got to be.
You're the third person that's asked me that in as many days. And I was talking to Dari Noko about this yesterday, because Dari's going no matter what, because like he's an Oklahoma guy. There's a chance Oklahoma's going to be there. Maybe they won't. He's going to be there either way. And he's like, you should be there too. Orlando's very far from Pasadena, but if there's a possibility of them playing in the Peach Bowl, I want to be there. I'd probably go back to our spot, Stignia, right next to Mercedes-Benz. Great spot.
Great hotel.
Absolutely love it.
Yes.
And then national championships in Miami, 3.5 hours away. So I'm just saying, like, we're lining up potential, dates, and I realize that is far from a guarantee. Like, they still haven't won a bowl game since 1991. I say that every time I come on with you guys. So I'm accepting that there is a real path to them winning a national championship. Like, I had buddies that were texting me, oh man, what a tough draw, Bama and Oklahoma. And I'm like, guys, Indiana's the better football team. Will that play out? I don't necessarily say that definitively, but I now have that confidence in ways that I did not before Ohio State.
You got to be at the Rose Bowl, though. Like, if we would have gone back when you started your career, in this industry, and if we would have told you Indiana is going to be the number one overall seed and they're going to be hosting Alabama or Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl, you would have said, I'll be there 1,000%.
I know.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's so weird, though. I've never really had to talk about it. I've never really had to get to a place where I've had to, talk about, the background that I have and now doing this job in the SEC predominantly. I like to think I covered the sport nationally, but, it is such a strange thing that I really hadn't even opened up myself to that possibility of, like, what happens if Indiana's in one of these premier bowls? Like, would I want to go? Because I don't necessarily pretend it would be stolen valor for me to say that I am this diehard Indiana football fan. I am not. I want great things to happen for my university, of course, but I haven't had a bad day as a result of Indiana football. So I'm in a different spot than so many other people, but I take so much pride in it. And it's wild, like, considering, what I've seen this program be and what this program is today.
You've been to the Rose Bowl before, though, right?
No. See, that's the other thing.
Never been. Oh.
I've never been. I have never been. And maybe this is the first time I've actually had a real reason. Like, my mom's an Illinois graduate, so like maybe when I was 17 years old, something like that could have made a little bit of sense. But no, it's only been a TV experience for me.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the weird thing about the Rose Bowl, and we've been fortunate enough to go many times. I never thought I'd go either, but the changing landscape of college football opened those doors. The stadium is a complete dump.
You guys hate it, don't you?
Hang on. Let me at least finish the sentences. The stadium's a complete dump. It is impossible to get in and get out. It doesn't have the amenities that you have grown accustomed to by going to the nice SEC stadiums that have poured a ton of money in their facilities. It's not designed as a great place to watch a game. The seats are, they can be far away from the action. It is very difficult to get out there from this part of the country, but I would recommend everybody do it at least once. I say all those bad things, and I would say, yeah, but you need to at least one time.
I would agree with you.
Would you agree with all that?
Yeah. Something special about it.
I'm going to have a conversation with the bosses and see how that goes, just because, there is going to at least be one SEC team in there, so maybe we can justify that. We'll see, but it's hard to present that case and be like, oh, why do you want to go out there, Connor? You haven't gone, like west of the Mississippi to cover a college football game in a hot minute, so that would probably be a little bit of a different argument for me to be able to make.
A non-bye team, and you can include Oregon. I know they're the 5 seed. A non-bye team that you think has some staying power in this college football playoff.
I think Miami's terrifying. I think that's a brutal matchup for A&M in the first round. Like, and I know that a Carson Beck grenade game is always possible. Mario Cristobal making some dumb decision late in the fourth quarter. Like, that's all, factored into it. But man, Miami's got game wreckers. Ruben Bain is one of the best players in college football. They can lean on that ground game, and it's not necessarily the most prolific ground game in college football. But like, if they get Fletcher back healthy, all of a sudden, you're talking about a group that can really dominate you in some key areas. And I just kind of look at having a game plan for Malachi Toney, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's going to be able to slow down that guy? So I think Miami is scary because they feel almost like they're playing with house money. With the way that they got into the college football playoff and the conversations about them going into this where, well, you know what, Notre Dame is just going to get the benefit of the doubt. And now they're in. And now all of a sudden, Miami is the team that's gotten over the hump in some ways by finally getting into the college football playoff. And I do wonder, notwithstanding those things that I mentioned that could definitely hold them back, which wouldn't surprise anyone, if they're the team that's going to just be the ones that nobody wants to face in this field.
You mentioned Notre Dame coming on, and boy, this has been quite the week. And obviously the athletics director hasn't helped the situation at all. And I'll give Dunaway credit. I mean, a couple of things here. He said it a couple of weeks ago, maybe teams should just freeze them out. Now Dan Wolken at Yahoo and others are reporting that athletic directors, aren't really happy with Notre Dame, and there's a chance that they get frozen out from scheduling certain teams. Do you think this is realistic? Is this going to happen and ultimately force Notre Dame into a conference? And do you think because of these reports and everything's so negative right now that it gives Marcus Freeman an excuse to go to the NFL and take that New York Giants job?
I don't think this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back with Notre Dame finally getting into a conference. I just think there's so much financial incentive for them to be able to stay and operate under their own rules. But this is still inevitable. When you operate in your own space, you can't expect to have allies. You ultimately might have partners with the ACC. You might have a broadcast partner, but until you are fully entrenched and not just in a part-time relationship with a conference like the ACC, you can't expect those things to change. And to me, it's kind of baffling that Notre Dame just pretends that it's like everyone else. And it might face a power conference schedule, but it doesn't mean it's always privy to the same power conference benefits. And so I do think that, they are just going to continue to operate in this unique space. And Marcus Freeman, if you take that job, that's what you signed up for. You got to a national championship game last year after you lost to Northern Illinois. So you can't pretend that, everything's just working against us, poor little Notre Dame. That's not the case. You get to customize this schedule in the way that very few teams can. And I'm always skeptical of how much that really matters because ultimately you don't need every single team in college football to be willing to schedule with you. I think A&M was very, very grateful that it scheduled Notre Dame this year because without it, everybody would have been pointing to that conference schedule, which lined up perfectly for the Aggies this year, but they had that win against Notre Dame in South Bend, and it mattered. So it's going to continue to matter for some of these teams. I think there's obviously some hurt feelings. Them going scorched earth. I mean, even dragging Pop-Tarts through the mud. Poor Pop-Tarts here. It's just so Notre Dame in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, Pop-Tarts should have been above the fray here. Like,
right?
We can criticize all the
saying, miss me with the brown sugar Pop-Tart is the best?
No.
That's not even like a top 10 Pop-Tart. What are we talking about
Not
here?
at all. That's ridiculous. A ridiculous statement. Which one is the best?
I'm an original strawberry frosted.
Yeah, strawberry frosted.
That takes the cake.
Yeah.
But give me a s'mores Pop-Tart, buddy. S'mores Pop-Tart, come on.
I gotta go. I grew up.
Fantastic.
I'm too old here, but I grew up in a time when it was just fruit Pop-Tarts.
Yeah,
there was not the cinnamon. I'm
with you. Yeah.
I have no problem with the fruit Pop-Tarts, but the brown sugar. I mean, come on. If that's there's a better option.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now you've not been on the show since I called you a Yankee because of the cinnamon roll with the chili. Dunaway brought this up that you had this before, and Nebraska serves it. He tried it. Did Jim say he tried it and liked it? I think. Yeah. Cinnamon roll with the chili. It's a bridge too far for me, Connery. Bridge too far to combine those two.
It's kind of weird, but it just it just sort of works. It's the single most Nebraska thing that I experienced during my 2.5 years in Nebraska is cinnamon rolls at Chili. I just showed up one day to a Nebraska football home game. I'm pretty sure it was the Iowa game one of those years. And in the press box for an 11 a.m. kickoff, it's cinnamon rolls and chili. And I just look around and everybody's just kind of, just doing their thing. Like this is just a standard thing that one experiences when it's 25 degrees outside and gray and everybody's just kind of miserable to be outside watching an 8-3 Nebraska team or whatever it was during the Bo Pelini years. And cinnamon rolls and chili is just what you consume in these moments. It hasn't helped them get over the hump against Iowa. Lord knows that. But cinnamon rolls and chili, don't knock it until you try it.
Do they dip the cinnamon roll in the chili, or do you just go bite and bite like that?
I haven't experienced that. Now,
Okay.
that's a bridge too far for me,
Got
but it's
it.
just
Okay,
kind of
okay,
like
yeah.
separate bites, and it just, for whatever reason, it's just a very late fall thing to be able to consume.
Okay, well, perhaps one day I'll be in Nebraska, and when in Rome, you have to, when in Rome, right? At CJ O'Gara, we will start a GoFundMe to get him to the Rose Bowl. At CJ O'Gara, Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Go support all his work. He does tremendous work, great college football content. Connor, thank you very much for the time. Have a Merry Christmas. Good to talk to you again.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Connor. Officially the first person I've wished a Merry Christmas to, and it was just kind of weird that I said that like that. I mean, it is the 11th.
Will not be the last.
It will not be the last person. Odie's bringing you part of the show today. We appreciate Connor coming on with us.
Yeah, Odie's Tavern, speaking of that grilled cheese, can't get a cinnamon roll on the side, but boy, you can get the delicious, delicious grilled cheese they've got right there. Incredible food from the award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, the ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, those Odie's famous cup cocktails, live music tonight and tomorrow night. Great place to watch Falcons, Bucks as well. Stop in, see Will Haver and that great staff. 2 locations, original in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Birmingham Institution, it's Odie's Tavern.
And Alabama Power reminds you from that first sip of coffee to your late night movie, Alabama Power has your back. They work hard to keep everything running smoothly and help you save. They're using the latest tech to keep outages at bay and offering free tools to help you save energy. The team's available 24/7, 365 at Alabama Power. You can count on them to do everything in their power to power everything you do. So check out alabamapower.com to see how they're making services more reliable and how they're helping you save now and for the future with Alabama Power. Thank you to Connor for coming on. Dan Orlovsky joins us in the final live hour. Again, everything you do, including Alabama basketball coach Nate Oates, everything we do is available on demand. Don't forget, tomorrow, 9:30, Alex Golish makes his first appearance. We've never interviewed him. We never interviewed him as South Florida coach. So first interview with Alex Golish on the show. We look forward to that tomorrow morning, 9:30, with us for about 20 minutes or so on the show. So 9:30 Central Time. Again, if you miss it, it's going to be on demand anywhere you get our content. So you can hear Alex Golish and see Alex Golish, the Auburn coach, for the first time tomorrow at 9:30, Friday at 9:30. Connor mentioned this. I guess we need to do the top 4 seeds here. Scott, if you could give us the college football playoff bracket, the actual bracket, not the 2014 bracket, so everyone could see it. Do you have in your mind, Lance, who has the easiest and toughest road? If you just look at the top 4 seeds, who's got the easiest and toughest road? Texas Tech plays the winner of Oregon and James Madison, and then they would get someone from this group, Alabama, Oklahoma, Indiana. Georgia plays the winner of Tulane and Ole Miss in New Orleans, and then they would get someone from this group, Miami, Texas A&M, Ohio State. Who do you think's got the easiest path?
I
of
would
the top 4
say
seeds?
it's either Georgia or Texas Tech.
So Georgia, now keep in mind, Georgia's got to play Ohio State in the semis.
Yep.
So you would still say Georgia or Texas Tech?
Yeah, but, somebody's got to play Indiana in the semis.
Yeah.
I mean, for Texas Tech, you're going to be playing more than likely an Oregon team. You're going to be on full rest. You're going to be, I think, a slight favorite, but not much, maybe one.
That game's in the Orange Bowl, by the way, for those that aren't keeping track.
Yeah, I think it's Texas Tech, which is crazy that the 4 seed probably has the best path. I just think Georgia getting the bye, then they're going to be playing more than likely Ole Miss without their head coach.
Yeah, in New Orleans. There'll be a lot of Ole Miss fans at that game. Georgia travels well, but they will not have a decided home field advantage in New Orleans.
You're going to have Kirby Smart studying for weeks and weeks and weeks on Ole Miss. It's Kirby Smart v. Pete Golding.
That's a coaching mismatch.
Ole Miss has never won a playoff game, so they'll be coming off their first ever playoff winner. They're going to really win 2 against a Georgia team that's won multiple national championships under Kirby Smart. I think you can almost book Georgia into the Fiesta Bowl. Texas Tech, I mean, that game against Oregon will be tough. To me, will be much tougher than what Georgia will have with Ole Miss. And I know Ole Miss led Georgia in the fourth quarter earlier this year.
Okay, this seems like a contradictory argument, but I'm going to ask you because Jason mentions it in the chat room. Outside of the top 4 seeds, Oregon is the 5 seed. Do they have the easiest path of the non-bye teams? They get to host James Madison, and then, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If you're going to play one of the bye teams, Texas Tech's who you'd pick.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to say that because you are a 3+ touchdown favorite in that first-round game. For Ole Miss, even, you're double-digit favorite over Tulane. You win that game, you got to play the SEC champion.
But it is a team you led in the fourth. Now, look, a lot has changed since this game. I get it. You led that team in Athens in the fourth quarter.
So Alabama beat Georgia in Athens earlier this year. I'm just saying.
It's a great point.
Kirby is... He's a great
good.
coach.
He's really good in rematches.
The
only 2 times he's ever beaten Alabama, it came in a rematch. I mean, that's not an insignificant thing.
Yeah, so I think you can pencil Georgia in the semifinals. I really do. The way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
I actually think Texas Tech, you can, I don't want to say pencil them because that is a tough game, but I would say Georgia or Texas Tech.
Who outside of the byes has the toughest path? I mean, Alabama has to go to Oklahoma and play Indiana if they advance, but a lot of people say that's not a bad path.
It's going to be Miami.
So Miami going to College Station and having to play Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Connor. I mean, I think Miami's going to be a handful for Texas A&M, but imagine how crazy that crowd in College Station is going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be on fire.
Yeah, you're going to go as an underdog. You've got to win that game on the road against an SEC team that has lost 1 game. Then what's your reward? A mad as hell Ohio State team coming off a loss to Indiana in the Big Ten championship game that is sitting there on great rest, the defending national champions. Oh, and if you beat them, then you get the SEC champion and the Georgia Bulldogs. And if you beat them, then maybe you play the number 1 overall seed. So, I think Miami has got a brutal path.
Yeah, Miami is almost certainly going to have to beat 2 SEC teams and a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
I mean, there's almost no way around it.
2 SEC teams and a Big Ten team to get to the championship game.
That's just to get to the championship game. Yeah, that's a tough road for Miami.
Yeah, I mean, really, little old ACC that jacked this whole bracket up. Do we really believe you're going to beat 2 SECs, a Big Ten, and then in the national championship game, more than likely another SEC or Big Ten?
Is Mario Cristobal coaching?
Yes.
Then no.
Yeah.
We got a Tinder moment. Tyler, if you would get cut 5 ready, we're going to do our Tinder moment of the day. Maybe Tinder in a different way. But first, Sleep Home Alabama, our friends at CPAP Plus.
Yeah, our friends at CPAP Plus want to remind you, the O'Neill brothers, Woody and Joe, great dudes. They want to remind you how important that good night's sleep is. You need to get the proper 7 or 8 hours. If you're not getting it, so bad for the health. And right now, they're in the middle of a great promotion, the ResMed Show Your CPAP Score. If you've got a CPAP, if you're currently on one, just stop into one of their Birmingham locations. Right there, Highway 280, Pelham, Trustful. No appointment needed. Just show them that sleep score, and you're automatically entered to win the ResMed Mini Travel CPAP worth $900. Just go to sleephomealabama.com or stop into one of those locations. You can also go to o'neillmed.com. That is ONEAL med.com.
And our Tinder moment of the day presented each day by Bojangles. Hey, if you are looking for a interesting holiday party option, how about letting Bojangles cater that holiday party for you? Bojangles can have that fried chicken, the chicken tenders, the great sides, the biscuits, and those Bo Bites, the tender bite-sized pieces of chicken. We recommend you dip in that peach honey pepper sauce. It's fantastic. All available right there at Bojangles. So whether it's breakfast on your way to work or taking the kids to school tomorrow morning, whether it's lunch or dinner today or tomorrow, or that holiday party or football watch parties, Bojangles is your one stop there. You can always make it bow time with our friends from Bojangles. Listen, with age, we all get a little more tender in the midsection than we would like, right? We're not going to, I mean, you can exercise all you want. At some point, genetics catches up with you, age catches up with you. You're going to be a little more tender than you want. Phillip Rivers, older than most NFL players. He's on the practice squad now.
Older than most?
Older than all NFL players. Yes,
every one of them.
Older than every. Older than some NFL coaches, I would know. Is there a coach younger than Phillip Rivers?
My man, Sean McVay,
Is he
Kevin
still younger
O'Connell,
than-
yeah.
They're still younger?
McVay's in his 30s still. He's 39.
So we got coaches that are younger than Phillip Rivers. We've got players that are younger than Phillip Rivers. It comes for all of age comes for all of us. And yesterday, Phillip asked about maybe being a little too soft in the midsection to be an NFL player.
What is your playing weight? What do you weigh right now?
Right this second? I'm not sure, Greg. How about that? That's an honest answer. And not what it was when I walked off the field in Buffalo. All right, I can tell you that. But then I'll follow that up with I ain't never ran away from anybody anyway. Right? So I'm gonna. They people say, well, they're gonna know you're gonna be right there, and it's like, well, they knew that for 16, 17 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. He may be a touch overweight. I love that. He asked him, how much do you weigh? I really don't know right now. But it ain't going to be a foot race with Phillip Rivers. He's not going to win a foot race.
I bet he's all at 250 to 255.
Pull that still shot back up, Scott.
Maybe 260. I mean,
260. Well, how big?
Dude, he's 6'5".
I have stood next to Phillip Rivers. Very nice guy. I am a Phillip Rivers fan. I hope he goes up there and plays well. But he's a big guy.
He's all of 6'5", and I think his playing weight might have been 235 or 240.
So you think he might be 250, 260?
Yeah, I think I would say, if I'm going corny here, 258.5 would be my official guess.
Okay, 258.5. That's a big quarterback.
Wikipedia has him at 6'5", 228, but I don't know how outdated that weight is.
Very.
That might have been playing weight.
I would say considerably outdated.
Yeah, Robert De Niro let us know in Cape Fear that the average man gains 5 pounds a year throughout adulthood, and Phillip Rivers coaching Little League and coaching his kids. And,
being a dad puts weight on you.
Yeah, and being 5 years removed from the NFL, I would say it's probably even more than that.
Coming off Thanksgiving. I mean, look, this is post-Thanksgiving weight. We've all got a little more on us post-Thanksgiving. Right?
This is about to be an amazing story, good or bad.
Oh, I thought you were calling for Indianapolis to make a Super Bowl run here when you said amazing story, but you threw in the good or bad.
I'm not going Nick Foles with the Philadelphia Eagles.
You said good or bad, so this could go really, really south
or
too.
bad.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's a cool story. It is amazing that the Colts' best option at this point, they believe, is pulling a guy that is 5 years removed from retirement that might weigh 260 pounds, that is 44 years old.
I have not seen this personally. I've just seen the reports of it on social media that on ESPN today, Cam Newton basically said, why him, not me? We were with Cam Newton last weekend in Atlanta. Cam still looks like he could suit up and play. He's in great shape.
Yeah, he is massive. That's all I could hear walking around when people would see Cam Newton is, my God, I didn't realize how big he is.
Cam Newton is a big human being.
Yeah, he is. Well, I would say this. Phillip Rivers, when he played, Cam Newton, his highs were so high. But Cam was inconsistent towards the end of his career. Those New England Patriot days. I thought Phillip Rivers was a better quarterback.
Yeah. So there you go. Phillip Rivers doesn't know what he weighs and is basically reminding people if it's a 40-yard dash competition, you weren't picking me anyway.
Yeah, but is Cam saying he wants to play?
I don't know. He just said, I just saw a report. I haven't seen what he said. It's on one of the many debate shows that's on in front of us here. He apparently said, why him, not me? He could have said it jokingly. I'm just telling you what was the reported phrase there that he used, why him, not me, and he may have laughed after it. I don't know, but I'm just saying, I only brought that up to say Cam still looks like he could play. I don't know if Phillip does.
Yeah.
All right, as we go to break, Tyler, you got 4 downs for us in the next segment, right? You got your 4 downs on Thursdays? Always off the beaten path. Tyler's 4 downs. We'll do that in the next break. A reminder, whether your team wins or loses, Culver's is a great place to go celebrate a win or maybe drown your sorrows and forget the loss in a juicy butter burger and that Freemy fresh frozen custard with those crispy crinkle-cut fries, the gooey golden cheese curd, something for everyone in your crew to enjoy at Culver's. Win or lose, the perfect place to celebrate the sweet memories you make all season long. So in Birmingham, stop by the Culver's. In Tattersall Park, our Stadium Trace, and make game day a delicious one. Culver's, welcome to Delicious.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-710. 7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation and legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by the professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
We continue on the Next Round. Tonight, the SEC schedule for next year will be announced. You already know your opponents. You know your annual opponents. All you're going to get are dates tonight, dates of games.
Cannot wait to see LSU in Oxford.
Absolutely. Yeah, when do LSU and Ole Miss play? You've got to think it's going to be pretty early in the season, Lance, probably like a week 3, week 4.
I mean, I think you have to because you assume LSU is going to be good. I don't know what to assume from Ole Miss.
There'll be no TV times, I don't think, at all tonight. There's some that you already know, like the cocktail party's already, it's always a 2:30 game. The SEC kind of mandates that after the issues they've had down there. So you're not going to know like a ton of TV times. Those may come out quickly. But I think if you look, LSU and Ole Miss, it will be placed where it's the obvious primetime ABC game. Too much in that game.
Yeah, and you would agree it's got to be early because you don't want Ole Miss.
You don't want either one of them to be bad.
Yeah, to absorb a couple of losses. And, you know, you have that a top 25 matchup early on. The buzz around that game is going to be insane.
But I was looking this morning because we know the conference opponents, But I was looking this morning. Next year's meaningful out-of-conference games that are not the normally scheduled. So when I say that, I mean like throughout Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Louisville.
You're talking about like the Florida State, Alabama.
Clemson, South Carolina. Yeah, these are games we don't get every year. These are all of them. I'm about to give you every last one of them if you don't consider the rivalry weekend games. Bama, Florida State back in Tuscaloosa. Arkansas at Utah.
God, that is a weird matchup.
It is a weird matchup, isn't it? I didn't even realize they were playing, to be honest with you, until I saw it this morning. The return game for Auburn-Baylor. Keep in mind now that game is an Auburn home game, but it will be played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Auburn sold that one off. LSU gets the return from Clemson. Mississippi State is at Minnesota. You want to talk about a weird matchup. Mississippi State at Minnesota. Missouri is the return game at Kansas. Oklahoma gets the return game with Michigan. That is at Michigan. Tennessee is at Georgia Tech. Texas host Ohio State. Texas A&M host Arizona State, and Vanderbilt host NC State. That's it. That's not.
Well, that's
not a lot of quality in there.
You count those up. What did you have, about 13?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
There will never be 11 games like that again.
Yeah, but I mean, give me the ones that. I didn't think Bama Florida State was going to be good this season, and it wasn't because Florida State whipped Alabama.
But I mean, there's still games on paper that, Oklahoma, Michigan, and Clemson and LSU.
All right, Oklahoma, Michigan's a good one.
Clemson, LSU.
Texas, is a good one. Texas, Ohio State's a good one. That's 3.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm not saying they're great matchups. I'm just saying you're not going to see these type of matchups anymore.
Tennessee at Georgia Tech.
Would have been a really good game earlier this year.
Yeah. Auburn-Baylor was an entertaining game week 1. Now, both those teams went in bad directions after that game. One coach got fired. The other coach got one more year, surprisingly. Bama FSU, I mean, we didn't think it was going to be good this year. And, again, it wasn't because Florida State blew Alabama out.
Will that be the opener again?
I think so, yeah. Or actually, you know what? I think that's week 2. Let me double-check on that. Again, you'll get all these schedules tonight, and you'll see the dates of the games. Alabama, Florida State is, that's the 19th. In fact, that's week 3, Lance. Alabama opens with East Carolina on the 5th. And then they've got a open date, which could be an SEC game, week 2. Because they've already got 3 non-conference. It's either a bye or an SEC game if these dates are right.
I think that's going to be the Chattanooga game they swapped for USF.
Well, I've got Chattanooga, but I've got Chattanooga at 11:21. I've got it in the tweener week, which I hope is wrong, but that's where I see it, Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, can you double-check that when they announced it?
The press release, when they announced it, said it was replacing the USF game, so
you assumed
interpreted
it was the same
that
date.
As it's replacing
Will you
the
see if you can find that real quick?
Well, if it's not the second week, that'll be the earliest SEC game Alabama's ever played, right?
Maybe not ever. I thought I remember Alabama opening with Vanderbilt one year.
Yeah,
they played A&M week 2 in the return game to Johnny Manziel in 13.
Yeah, and
it's pretty rare, but
I do remember maybe a Labor Day weekend where they played in Athens.
Well, look, if you it was the block kick game. You remember that? Alabama led the whole game. The kick got blocked, and then Mike Shula brought him back at the end. Yeah, that was 85.
That sounds right, yeah.
That's been a long time. It's pretty rare, but if you're going to play 9 conference games, there are going to have to be some games in the first 3 weeks. I mean, that's just the way the schedule's going to have to work. While Brooks looks that up, Dr. B bringing you part of the show today before we get to 4 down.
Dr. B, best in the business. Look, if you're starting to thin out a little bit, all guys are a little insecure when it comes to losing their hair, and with good reason. And our friend Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business, he can help you out. I went to see him when we started this venture back in 2021. So for over 4 years, I've been doing that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. Hair has more than doubled in thickness for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein. You can do the same. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. Stop wasting money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B and find out what will work for you. T3's got that test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. Men and women ordering products online don't even know if they work. Stop wasting money. 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
And Urology Centers of Alabama, making sure your urological care is where it absolutely needs to be. This is so critical to make sure you stay on top of everything with your urological care. I mean, from something as seemingly basic as kidney stones to vasectomies, all the way up the line, Urology Centers of Alabama make sure they are on top of it for you. To schedule a checkup, make an appointment, 205-930-0920. That's 205-930-0920 or urologycentersalabama.com. Urology Centers of Alabama, urologycentersalabama.com. Did you find it, Brooks?
Yes. So FB Schedules says, according to a copy of the contract they obtained from UT Chattanooga via public records request, Alabama will host Chattanooga November 21st, 2026, which will mean that that's only can be a conference game in week 2.
Or a bye.
Or a bye.
Yeah,
or a bye.
Yeah, it's a conference game where you keep a bye.
So it's either going to be a week 2 bye, which
you don't want.
I don't think it will work that way because the way the calendar has turned over, we've had 2 bye weeks each of the last 2 or 3
seasons. Is next year a 1 bye week season?
It goes back to a regular 1 bye week season because the Labor Day game is September 5th now as opposed to – like we've had 5 weeks in November.
Gotcha.
5 Saturdays in November the last few years, so there's been 2 bye weeks. The calendar will flip back over next year, so I think there's only going to be 1 bye week next year. So
you don't want that
you don't
week
want a week 2. No, that's going to be an SEC
so
game.
I imagine that's going to be an SEC game. So they'll actually play SEC then Florida State.
Yeah. So Alabama's SEC opponents. I mean, one of these is going to be a week 2 game for Alabama, and you'll find this out tonight. By the way, again, SEC Network for the schedule unveil. It's obviously not Auburn, but one of these teams will be Alabama's week 2 opponent. Georgia at home, South Carolina at home, Texas A&M at home, or a road game at Kentucky it won't likely be LSU. At State, it won't be Tennessee, or at Vanderbilt. So it's going to be at Vanderbilt, at State, at Kentucky, home to A&M, home to South Carolina, home to Georgia. That's going to be one of your week 2 games if you're Alabama. I mean, it's just going to be live in a 9-game schedule. That's the way it's going to be. Which one would you take? I would say...
Well, so you're hosting Florida State week 1, right?
That's right. You got Florida State week 1.
I think I would
No. You got East Carolina week 1, then this game, and then host Florida State. So it's you probably wanted to be a road
game. I think like at Mississippi State.
Yeah, at State would be probably where I would go on that one. Maybe at Vandy. You got a new quarterback. Get Vandy early. At Vandy or at State are your 2 most desirable ones there.
Well, you roll up to Nashville in week 2 and lose, though.
It's going to be tough. Then you got Florida State the next week.
I mean, do you have more confidence in Clark Lee, in year 5, or Jeff Lebby in year 3? And
I mean, I've got more faith in Clark Lee year 5. I'd rather play at State than at Vanderbilt. If I got to pick that, I can't believe it's even a discussion, but that's the world we're living in now. I'd rather play at State than at Vanderbilt. All right, it is time for 4 Downs, presented today by our friends at Walk-Ons Sports Bistro. Walk-Ons right there at Stadium Trace. You got one in Trussville. You got one at Tattersall Park just off Highway 280. Go enjoy. What is it you like, Tyler? Those ribeye sliders?
Ribeye sliders.
Do you hold the onions or do you get onions on there?
I get them with everything on it.
So, Tyler, you just get it the way you want it.
Yep.
Just no clothes talking after that.
That's
I'm
right
there with you. I get the same thing a lot of times. It used to be a bit all over the place. It started with that tuna salad, and then I went tuna tacos, and then I went gator tacos.
Those are good.
Always mix the sliders in there. But now I'm with Tyler on that.
Boom
Those
Boom
things are
Shrimp
fantastic.
Tacos. Boom Boom Shrimp Tacos. Tyler has consumed a Death Valley from the bar. What was it good?
Oh, it was delicious.
How many Death Valleys could you drink and still be upright?
I think I had 2 at the kickoff party.
Were you feeling it at that point, or were you okay?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
You think we could
a little bit?
We could get you 3. Could you do 1 an hour on this show?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
I think we might need to try that.
Yeah.
I'll get Matt and Ken and the guys to bring up some Death
Bring
Valleys.
Death Valley
Bring
mix.
them in jugs.
Yeah. That is at Walk-Ons Sports Bistro. They bring us 4 downs. Hit it, Tyler.
First down.
What's your go-to snack around Christmas time?
So my ex-wife's grandmother always made this Chex Mix, and it was really, really, really spicy.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's got a ton of butter in it. I mean, it's just fantastic. But her mom, Gama, now does it. And so I still get some of that every year, and it's just one of I can't put it down because it's good with everything. It's good with a Coke. It's good with red wine. It's good with a bourbon. It's good with a beer. It's fantastic.
My wife makes something that's always been called white trash. It's basically Chex Mix. I mean, there's variations of it. Some has M&Ms, but they do the white chocolate over it, and then you let it dry, and it clumps together. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, it is so good. And my mom, and I've brought these to the guys. I'll get my mom to make them for the staff. Okay.
Vicky's pecan pie?
Yeah. Do you like pecan pie?
I love pecan pie.
Do Scott and Brooks like pecan pie? Scott and Brooks.
Hard no from me.
Okay, so all right, smart.
I like pecan pie, like Kentucky Derby pie better.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to have to explain what that is. Pecan pie around the holidays is the best pie.
Scott, does anybody in your family like pecan pie?
That is not a staple at our place.
So mom is off the hook on Scott, clearly. But my mom makes these little mini pecan pies in the little pie tins. You loved it, didn't you?
Oh, so we
basically eat it in about 3 bites. They're good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you don't know what Kentucky Derby pie is?
No, I have no idea.
It is basically like a chocolate pecan pie, and it has a shot of bourbon mixed in to the pie that you bake in.
Interesting.
I mean, I would definitely give it a shot.
My wife made a homemade one last week, and it was like top 3 dessert I've ever had.
Okay, how do we get your mom or your wife to make another one?
I can ask her. It was a homemade crust, too.
Oh,
wow. Holy crap.
She's good. She's a good baker.
Yeah, clearly. I've had her sourdough. Were you here the day that Brooke's wife made the sourdough cinnamon rolls? Did you try those?
I don't remember.
I think Lance was up here.
I did. Those were really good.
Those were phenomenal.
Let's keep it coming.
Yeah, I agree. Brooke's wife can cook, man.
My go-to is my aunt calls them firecrackers. It's just saltines.
I
with
love
like
those.
The red
My wife
pepper
makes them.
seasoning.
Yeah,
Delicious.
You ever had those?
No. Wait, what is
It's
this?
saltine crackers, and you mix in like red pepper, maybe some olive oil. Am I right about that?
I think there's some
And
olive
you
oil.
bake, or like what, on the grill or something?
No, you put them in the oven and bake them, and all that bakes on there, and it's just like they're spicy saltine crackers.
Oh, damn.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Okay, I'll get Jennifer
Yeah,
to
that
make.
seems pretty simple, right?
Oh, it's quite simple. Yeah, you mix them in a big like Ziploc bag, and you flip it a couple times, and then you bake them.
Oh, damn!
Terrific.
All
Yeah,
in.
very good. Very good.
Second down.
Today, The Shining will re-release for its 45th anniversary. What's the best cinematography in a movie you've ever noticed, or TV show?
Oh, I thought Dances with Wolves was really good. I don't know if you've seen it. I know Brown would never see it because it is
Sounds
a saga.
long. Yeah, it's long, isn't it?
It's just a beautiful movie. I thought The Revenant was really well shot. Like, The Revenant, the storyline kind of drug a little bit until the final scene, which was incredible. But I thought, that was really, really good. I thought No Country for Old Men was shot really well. But Stanley Kubrick, what he did with The Shining and what he did with a lot of his movies, just the colors and like bringing to life the 70s in that time, and the exterior shots from the Overlook Hotel, and then the maze, looking down on the maze. I mean, that is one of the better ones too. And what about you? I mean,
I would go with The Shining. A lot of people really like 2001: A Space Odyssey and Barry Lyndon, both of those from Stanley Kubrick.
Have you seen Barry Lyndon?
I've been meaning to watch it. I still haven't gotten to that one.
I watched it this year for the first time. Really good. Really good.
I would say I'm just going to single scene. One of my favorite scenes of all time is when Henry and Karen are walking into the club in Goodfellas.
Yes.
And the single shot, it's widely considered one of the great best shot scenes in the history of cinema, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that scene.
The extended shot in 1917, which was basically the whole movie, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
They only had one cut, I think, right?
I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since
Yeah, I
I've seen
saw that in
1917.
theater just because of that.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie, yeah.
I don't know without that aspect of it, without the single shot aspect of it, if it would have been as good. But it was a good flick.
Third down.
27 years ago, Jack Frost, starring Michael Keaton, released. What do you think is the most underrated Christmas movie? Because I think that one never gets mentioned.
So I've never seen Jack Frost. Doesn't he driving home, dies or something, and comes back as a snowman?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that a real story? Is it a true story?
It is not a true story.
It never pulled me in. I'm telling you, if you've never seen Office Christmas Party, it is incredible. It really is.
T.J.
It is
Miller,
so
right?
funny. Yeah, with Jason Bateman.
Yep.
Olivia Munn.
That's a good call right there. I may have to go with that one too. I was trying to think of it.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch it.
Oh, gosh.
Funny movie.
I'll tell you, the only reason I watched it was because we had T.J. Miller back in the Jock Studios, and we've obviously had him in here too. But I ended up watching Silicon Valley because of that. I loved it, and I just decided to throw on Office Christmas Party because he was talking about it in some regard. And to me, it's like one of those. I was telling Jack yesterday, like, we've got Bad Santa coming up. We've got Office Christmas Party coming up. We've got The Ice Harvest, which I thought was underrated. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I don't know that one.
Billy Bob Thornton, John Cusack, Randy Quaid.
It's a good cast.
Yeah.
Did you or did you not
Oliver
like
Platt?
What's the feeling on Polar Express among the staff here?
Hate Polar Express.
You hate it?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
You hate it?
Yeah.
Scott hates Elf. Do you also hate Polar Express, Scott?
Not to the extent that I hate Elf.
But you don't like it? Okay.
I would not watch it again, no.
Brooks?
It's kind of creepy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
CGI Tom Hanks does not look
Yeah,
warm
it is.
and inviting.
I think creepy is a good way to sum it up. Hey, Scott, I got to ask you about Elf, though. We just got to clear this up.
It's terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Yeah, Scott does not like it, in case you're
Because I
wondering.
used to like Christmas Vacation, and I'll still stomach it when it's on. I've never liked A Christmas Story, but did you ever like Elf?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. It is the least funny movie that other people think is funny.
Oh, I thought it was so original when it was done.
do you not like Will Ferrell? Is it a Will Ferrell thing?
I liked him in the first Anchorman.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, not really.
He's a lot. He's a lot.
What about James Caan? Do you not like James Caan?
Liked him in Misery.
Okay. All right. You do not
Different
like
role.
Sonny Corleone. I mean,
Yeah.
Does anybody have any family members that do the like the Lifetime Christmas movies?
My mom and dad, I think, watch some of those. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, it's so bad.
yeah.
I'll tell
Those
them.
are painful.
You're not getting pecan pies if you say that.
I
back.
honestly think we could get some of these first down, the firecrackers and stuff, and we could sit around and we could just empty one of these kegs, and within 6 to 8 hours, we could write a full script for one of these Hallmark movies.
Why, it's the same movie over and over.
It's the same actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Just recycle them.
Yeah.
It's always a big city ad executive going back to her small town for Christmas.
Yeah, she did everything she could to get
Hey,
out.
I've seen that one.
Her ex-boyfriend is just standing in the street,
Yeah,
just
was that-
waiting on her, doing nothing.
I know.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama at Christmas. Every one of them are. The only thing I'll say about Elf, Scott, is I thought Ed Asner is actually one of the better Santas in cinematic history. I think he plays a great Santa.
I thought Bob Newhart was a good
Bob
elf
Newhart's a
dad.
good elf, yeah. I don't know why you hate it.
4th down.
Because it's not funny.
Okay.
Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue turned 66 years old today. Better career, Nikki Sixx or Nick Cage?
I think I'd probably go Nick Cage here.
Oh, I think I'm going to go Nikki Sixx just because he is the guy that held that band together. And much like Gene Simmons, his vision and his organization, and through all the dysfunction with that band, boy, man, and their longevity. Like, I mean, Nick Cage has had a ton of longevity too, and he's trying to recreate himself right now, but he still does so many bad movies. It's really, really close. I'm interested to see who's actually got more money.
I tell you what,
It's not Nick Cage.
Not Nick Cage. He's spin it all.
Well, I know he
Yeah.
spent it all, but I'm just talking about.
I doubt Nikki
what their
Sixx is a saver, but
what their career. Well, you know, he got
He wasn't
sober.
buying dinosaur bones like Nick Cage, though.
yeah.
I think he's been sober for 35 years now. I think.
And Nikki Sixx has been.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his heart almost
Well, I
exploded.
was about to say,
or it did.
before that 35 years, he did enough damage
Yeah.
for the remainder of the 35.
But I wonder career earnings, not what they've necessarily got right now, but it's got to be close.
A lot of Cage in the chat room here. A lot of people want Nick Cage in the chat room.
He does have an Oscar.
That is hard to believe that Nick Cage has won an Oscar. He's not thought of as a great actor, is he?
No.
And he won it for what?
For Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But he played a really good drunk.
Sometimes it's life imitating art, right? Or art imitating life.
Nikki Sixx's net worth is estimated to be around $55 million.
Oh, wow.
And then Nick
Never
Cage's
mind.
current net worth is estimated to be between $25 and $40 million. But at his peak, he commanded a fortune of $150 million.
Yeah.
But
I tell you, if you spend everywhere, you're going to lose $150 million. Even you can blow through $150 million, Nick.
yeah, like dinosaur fossils,
Yeah.
historical artifacts,
Castles.
just the craziest stuff.
Yeah.
National treasure right there.
That's right. That is 4 downs. Thank you very much, Tyler. Great job. Hemp Hill Services bringing you that part of the show and the Lock Tonight NFL action.
They can also do a great job for you. If you've got any issues in your home or business, whether it's plumbing, heating, cooling, anything you need, trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Call 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Speaking of the NFL game tonight, big NFC South matchup, a team that is out of it, a team that could still win it. We will talk some of that with Dan Orlovsky, who today, and again, a lot of this stuff happens on the ESPN debate shows, and I only see it on Twitter. Today, Dan Orlovsky says people are being now too critical of Jalen Hurts. Like, it has swung the other way now. Like, maybe we're piling on Jalen Hurts a little too much.
Well,
now.
good. We'll get to that. Have we brought this up yet where ESPN, because we talked about College Game Day yesterday, maybe this is what you brought up.
That it was a record year for College Game Day, most viewers ever.
But where they're going to be for the college football playoffs.
I know they're doing the daily double. They're doing Norman Friday.
Yep.
Leading into that game. And then their traditional time slot in College Station.
Yes, okay. I didn't know if we had mentioned that. Yeah.
I don't know what the times are for the game in Norman, but they'll lead into the Alabama-Oklahoma game in Norman, and then they'll do the traditional College Game Day show. I guess a full College Game Day. It's going to be, I would say it's going to be hard to fill that, but there's so much going on in college football, maybe it will not be. Maybe they'll have an easy time filling it, leading into Texas A&M playing host to Miami. So we will see that. All right, that is going to wrap up this hour of the Next Round. It's presented by Bud Light from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studio. Dan Orlovsky and Trash in the next hour.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
So as we do this show live, and I know so many of you consume us on demand, and we greatly appreciate you doing that. You can get us anywhere. You watch us live or hear us live. It's you can get us on demand as well. And those of you that listen to us on podcasts, whether it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you could set your automatic downloads, that helps us a ton, and we appreciate you doing that. And those of you on YouTube, the show just is always there. It lives, everything we do lives on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and set your alerts so you know when we're live. And give us a thumbs up. That helps us a lot, too, when you give us a thumbs up. And we always ask you to share us on social media. I know we're asking you to do a lot of stuff, but we appreciate you doing it. You share us on social media. That helps. So when we do this show live, there's frequently developing stories. And those of you that listen on demand, you're like, okay, that's old. So we apologize for that. But this Sherrone Moore story is going to have developments as we do the live show. One of those today, Dan Wetzel, friend of the show, who's now with ESPN. Dan lives in Michigan in the Detroit, Ann Arbor area, so he's on top of this story, obviously. With Moore, reports that there's not going to be a decision today, at least it's not expected, on whether to charge ex-Michigan coach Sherrone Moore, but that he is still in police custody. I mean, this is such a bizarre story to consider that 2 days ago, this guy was the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, and now today he's sitting in police custody.
Yeah, and it's really strange on how he would be in. If he was a threat to himself, I would think that he would be admitted and be getting some kind of mental evaluation.
And there have been no credible reports that that's the case.
But how would you not get bail by now?
And that's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
I do not know. I don't know the whole. I don't know. I guess.
I mean, more serious violence.
But help me understand. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but help me understand this. If you get arrested and haven't been charged, they can't set bail, right? So you're just held until you're charged. Am I right about that? I mean, there's no way you could set bail until somebody has been charged with something.
I don't know.
I mean, I did not go to law school at Jacksonville State, so I don't know this, but that makes sense to me. Until you've been charged with something,
yeah, but I don't think you
bail.
can legally detain somebody unless you're going to process and charge them with something. This would be a Tommy Spina question.
It would be a great Tommy Spina question. If Tommy's not with us right now, you can text him if you want. But
yeah, I can't. I will text him.
Hey, this is the Champies Hour. Champies World Famous Fried Chicken, ChampiesChicken.com. Sterling and the crew have thrown the doors open there at Champies Chicken, and they are ready to serve you a great lunch, whether it is those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Jim always asks you, I'll do the same thing, Tyler. If you're at Champies right now, what would you be eating?
Oh, man, I would go with the baked beans. That's a great
They're
side.
so good. It's like
so
those
good.
cowboy baked beans is what they are, basically, yeah.
And then I think that people sleep on the sausage, cheese, and pickle plate.
You bring that up a lot. It is a great, not just appetizer, but, heck, you can make it a meal.
I think it's perfect for the wintertime.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. It is Champies World Famous Fried Chicken, ChampiesChicken.com, ChampiesChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go see Sterling, Megan, and the entire crew there. Just tell Sterling, hey, the next round said you'll sit down and talk some football with me. I guarantee you Sterling will do it. Now, if they're super busy, let him work. But Sterling will hang out and talk some football with you. He's a good dude. ChampiesChicken.com, ChampiesChicken.com.
And Inverness Country Club, you're looking for that great gift for the entire family. How about kicking off the new year with a membership at the Inverness Country Club? They've got memberships that fit everyone, from the social to the golf. Child care is also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? Drop the kid. Go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends knowing your kid is safe on site. Huge plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Best days happen there. To take a tour of the club, call Aaron 205-991-8608 or online iccalabama.com.
Dan Orlovsky scheduled to join us in about 10 minutes. I think we can get through this in 10 minutes. You think we could do the letter grade for every SEC team, regular season, in 10 minutes?
Sure.
All right. Why don't we, we can save Alabama and Auburn. What do you think? Save Alabama and Auburn for the end? All right.
Why not?
So I am just going to go, I guess I'm going to go in order of finish. So Georgia, clearly that's an A, right? I mean, there's no other.
Yeah, I mean, you win the SEC championship. You've got a bye in the college football playoff. And look, it's an incomplete right now. It's going to be an A+ if they, end up getting
but
to the
regular
national championship.
season-wise in college, it's
solid A.
Yeah, Ole Miss.
A.
Same thing, yeah, Texas A&M.
Now, Ole Miss, a little blemish because you lose your head coach, but that's not Ole Miss's
that's not
fault.
their fault. I mean, that's an A season for Ole Miss. You're 11-1 and in the playoffs.
A&M A&M's an A.
11-1 and in the playoffs. Oklahoma's 10-2 and in the playoffs.
I think Oklahoma is a B+. You got run off the field by your big rival. You are at your first college football, first 12-team college football, first college football appearance under Brent Venables. But I'll give them a B+. They're still that was a black eye with the Texas game.
The Vanderbilt Commodores 10-2 just missed the college football playoffs. If that's not
an
A+.
A+.
That's not an A+. Shut the school down, right? The Texas Longhorns 9-3 started the season number 1. Steve Sarkisian pushed back at people talking about not meeting expectations, but clearly they did not.
Yeah, C. I mean, is that too harsh? You were the preseason number 1 team. You lose 3 games.
I thought it might have been
You don't get to a college football playoff. I do think they got a lot better. So, like, if I'm a Texas fan.
You did finish with a win over your rival A&M. That factors in, right?
Yeah, and you beat Oklahoma. I mean, your 2 biggest rivals on the schedule, you went 9-3. You're still a top 15 team. I think it's a C. I usually grade harder than that, but I would go. There was a point this season where it was an F. But right now, I think it's a C.
Missouri had a schedule that seemed tailor-made for a college football playoff run, and they go 8-4 and obviously don't make the playoffs. What would you give Eli and Missouri?
You know, it's crazy. I'm going to give them a C as well. And any year that's 8-4 at Missouri, it should be a B or an A. But because of the expectations coming into the season that a lot of people believe they can win 10 games with that schedule and be knocking on the door of a college football appearance, but they lose 4 games. Now, you lost your quarterback earlier. That was a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
But I still would go C.
Tennessee 8-4. Now, I do want, before we give Tennessee their letter grade, to go back a couple of months when Nico Iamaleava went to UCLA. We talked about the fact that Josh Heupel's going to get some grace this year. He lost his quarterback. They have to go get Joey Aguilar. Aguilar actually played, for the most part, pretty well for them, obviously. I think if we go back in the offseason and say Tennessee finishes 8-4, we would have said, I'm going to cut him some slack for that because of the nature of the Iamaleava departure.
Yeah, no, I think it's solid B. I really do. Yeah, I mean, they were still in the mix. They were still highly competitive against teams that are in the college football playoff. I thought it was really interesting, speaking of Aguilar, you know, back to our interviews last Saturday at Fanfare, we had former linebacker Kevin Burnett on from the Tennessee Vols, and he was talking about the future of this program, and he was like, you know, there's a good chance we're going to be able to get Aguilar back too. So I'm a little surprised.
He's in the lawsuit with Pavia. He joined that lawsuit with Pavia.
I mean, I just think you could probably do better.
I would tend to agree, all right, now we're getting to the fired coach section of the SEC regular season standings. LSU 7-5 and fired Brian Kelly.
That's an F.
I would
It's an absolute F. 3-5 in conference, 7-5. You know, you beat Clemson in week 1, and then it completely falls apart like this.
I mean, that's 7-5 with a win at Clemson in week 1.
You know, there's no excusing it. You lose your coach. Yeah, that's an F.
Kentucky finished 5-7, 2-6 in conference, and fired Mark Stoops.
I mean,
it's not an F for Kentucky.
No, I was going to say because you fired the coach, I probably would drop it to a D. I would have had it a C, but
5-7, 2-6 is probably a Kentucky C.
I probably would go D. You?
Yeah, D because you had to fire the coach, which tells you that's another one of the seasons like 5-7, 2-6. If this were just a random 5-7, 2-6, you'd say that's a C. Florida 4-8, 2-6 fired their coach.
That's an F.
That's an F at Florida. Auburn. Well, we'll come back to
by the way, the expectation for Florida was college football playoff.
Oh, Hunter, I had them in. Yeah, it was my expectation for sure. Mississippi State 5-7, 1-7 did not fire their coach.
I think that's a B. I mean, it was a 2-10 last year.
Yeah.
At times, it looked like one of the most improved teams in all of college football, and you had Texas on the ropes. I mean, you're
Tennessee.
Play, and Tennessee.
Yeah,
you're one play away from easily being 6-6, a couple of plays away from being 7-5. So, you know, I thought year 2 for Jeff Levy was really strong based on how bad the product was in 2024. I mean, so I would go B.
So close to a 7-5. They're 5-7, but extremely close to a 7-5. With wins you could hang your hat on. I mean, you could hang your hat on beating Tennessee at home and Texas at home. I mean, you can. Those aren't like, you know, scrub wins. Those are wins against good teams. South Carolina 4-8, 1-7.
F. You fired your offensive coordinator. You had coming into the season one of the top 5 as far as shortest odds to win a Heisman Trophy. The offense was god awful. The product just was bad this year, and there's such an inconsistent thing. And I think we do realize South Carolina is not the easiest job in the world, but
it's better than 4-8, 1-7.
Yeah, there were a lot of expectations. I would give that a hard F. You?
Yeah, it's probably an F, especially when you consider what they were coming off of last year with Lenora Sellers returning. To your point, And I also give it an F, and this part of this is on their head coach. You made the decision to hire Mike Shula as your offensive coordinator. You ignored a history of Mike Shula having really bad offenses and said, nope, that's our guy with a Heisman finalist. So, yeah, I'd give that an F. Arkansas, 2-10, 0-8, and they fired Sam Pittman.
F. Your interim coach that took over.
He didn't win a game.
It was nothing but penalties, turnovers, terrible defense. Didn't win a game in conference. Hard F.
Yep. And then there's the in-state teams. Auburn 5-7, 1-7 fired Hugh Freeze.
That's an F.
It's an F.
Yeah. I mean, expectation again was, hey man, they finally have got this quarterback right out of the portal. This defense should be really good, which it was under DJ Durkin. But you give me quality wins for the Auburn Tigers this year.
There weren't any.
I mean, there wasn't.
No, there
were
not.
I mean, Baylor is your best win by far.
Yeah, Baylor's a 5-win team.
Yeah, and then your in conference
team.
Your one conference win was against the team that couldn't win a game in
That's
conference.
right. Yeah. Somebody had to get a win there.
Yeah, that's a hard F.
That's a hard F. I don't disagree at all with you. And then there's Alabama, a team that went 10-3 overall, 7-1. 10-3 overall, 7-1 in the SEC. Played for the SEC championship and made the college football playoff.
Okay, I'm part of the problem, Brown. Because people that
At
are
least you
dogging
can
Kalen
admit it.
DeBoer out there, I'm giving them a B. They're in the college football playoff. They were technically the number one seed in the SEC championship, but it's just not good enough. And I'm grading it on where Alabama should be right now. Here, Kalen DeBoer inherited a really, really good program. They were a game away from getting to a college football playoff last year. The lowest expectation was getting to a college football playoff this year, which they did, but en route to getting there, they struggled against their in-state rival. They got completely blown out in the SEC championship game, and the offense is broken right now.
I think B is a fair grade. Yeah,
I think B is where we're at.
No,
and look, and that thing could go to an A+. You win 4 games.
Well, yeah, you win 4 games. This is the regular season plus championship weekend for some teams.
But I'll tell you this: if you lose to Oklahoma for the third time in a row,
it
drops
to
a C.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think you got a B right now, but you got your final is you got 4 finals coming up potentially. But your first one's in Norman.
Yeah, and I'll
that one.
say, as long as you beat Oklahoma, then it stays a B, and it can only get better.
I would tend to agree with you. If you go to the Rose Bowl and play Indiana, regardless of that outcome, B is your lowest grade. You're locked into a B. I was never that way at Jacksonville State.
Nope.
Wish I was. I was locked into a B. Is a good feeling. All right, Dan Orlovsky coming up. First, Way to Wellness reminds you they are your journey to healthy living. If you've maybe put on a few too many pounds coming off of Thanksgiving, we were just talking about the Phillip Rivers weight gain. He doesn't even know his weight. Well, maybe Phillip needs to go see Leslie and her board-certified staff at Way to Wellness. aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That is the website for Way to Wellness. That is the website you go to find out more. They have a system that is structured just for you. It is not some cookie-cutter system where everybody is the same. It is for you. That is why it is aplanforme.com. Not just losing weight, but getting your numbers in order and a healthier living. It's your way to a healthier living. It is Way to Wellness, aplanforme.com.
Hey, and if you're on a CPAP, listen up. Our friends at O'Neill Medical, CPAP Plus, they're running their Show Your Score promotion right now. Just stop by one of those stores, Pelham, Trustful, Inverness, Highway 280, right here in Birmingham. No appointment needed. Show your ResMed My Air Sleep Score. You're automatically entered to win a brand new ResMed Air Mini Travel CPAP worth $900. The Show Your Score raffle runs through December 31st, 2025, so don't miss out. You've only got a few weeks left. Get all the details, o'neillmed.com. That is ONEAL med.com.
All right, let's talk some NFL. They are back tonight, the National Football League, with a NFC South matchup that is massive for Dunaway's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately, Dunaway out sick, so we can't ask Dan Orlovsky about the game tonight against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We will, or against the Falcons. We will, though. Welcome in, Dan Orlovsky. How are you today, my friend?
Hey, bud. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing awesome. Dan with us on the Alexander Shenard Trial Attorneys Hotline. Carolina has closed the gap there in the NFC South, and Baker Mayfield is playing with a bunch of injuries. This is a massive game for them tonight.
Oh, big time. And this is a Tampa team that's a little bit reeling. You know, they haven't figured out ways to make plays at the end of the game to win. The defense hasn't been nearly as good and or consistent as they were to start the season. And even last week, the offense, with some of the injuries, inconsistent as well. Ibuka drops 2 passes. One would at least tied the football game. They couldn't find a way to stop quarterback run. And so this is a good challenge. And I would, for Bucs fans, I would say don't pay attention to that Atlanta-Seattle score of last week. That game was, I think, 3-3 at halftime and just kind of got away from them. But they played, as far as like a style and a much closer game than the scoreboard, the way it ended up indicated. And so, yeah, it's a dangerous game for Tampa.
Bijan and Drake London complete studs, but quarterback position in Atlanta, they kind of gambled on Michael Penix. He's a guy that, has a history of injuries, and he's obviously injured right now. Kirk Cousins lost his confidence at the end of last year. That's kind of showing right now. What do you think the long-term future at the quarterback position for Atlanta is?
Yeah, that's such a difficult question to answer right now because the reality of the unknown in regards to who's going to be leading the organization. Terry Fontenot, a general manager, has obviously been very aggressive and has rolled the dice. And their head coach, Raheem Morris, they've got to really finish this season strong to, I would sit there and say, feel comfortable. It's a results-based business. They went all in this year. They don't have a first-round pick next year. And so we don't know who's going to be leading that organization. I still think Michael Penix is a talented young man. The injuries have to concern you. If I'm going to sit here and say, well, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, not only because of some of the up and down performance of J.J. McCarthy, but also the injury history, you have to bring in legitimate competition. I think you have to say that and feel the same way about it in Atlanta. I can't imagine just saying, yes, we're totally moving on from Michael Penix, but because of some of the lack of consistency performance-wise and also that injury history, I do think that quarterback in the position will have to get addressed. I feel unlikely that it's Kirk Cousins, but I'm not ready to say Michael Penix isn't part of the equation.
Dan Orlovsky is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. Zach in the chat room wants us to tell you your work on the Monsters, Inc. game was amazing. When you discussed wine at the party in the laugh container, it was hilarious to him. It got rave reviews. I watched some of the highlights of it. That looked very fun with you and Drew.
Yeah, dude, those are fun. Kind of like the perspective is, I call Monday Night Football, so those are really big games. There's a lot of pressure on those games. You're kind of can't make a mistake almost, and so you're hyper focused, and you feel that. This is a lot more relaxed, fun. You could have a little bit of a freewheeling personality. My children love it, which is the main reason why I do it. There's a lot of football in our country. It's almost every day. Most of the games are presented the same way, right? Broadcasting crew comes on. This is the game, but this is obviously a very different way to digest it. So being a part of that is a blast.
So in that game, Jalen Hurts was playing. Now, a lot of what you say throughout the morning, we get on social media because we're doing a show. We see you we've got 5 screens right here. You're on one of our screens a lot, but we don't get to hear what you say. So did you say today that the narrative is now too harsh on Jalen Hurts, that there is too much criticism on Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I don't understand it. And this is from somebody who's probably been more critical of Jalen Hurts, certainly early on in his career, than anyone. We're 10 months removed from him winning Super Bowl MVP. He's gone to the playoffs 4 times. He's gone to the Super Bowl twice. He's won Super Bowl MVP once. And the head coach is having questions on, hey, are you going to bench him? He's 4th in the NFL in touchdowns, behind Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, and Dak Prescott. And we're asking the question of, wait, are you going to bench him? I don't understand. I don't understand how we got to that point. I'm not sitting here telling everybody that Jalen Hurts is this ridiculous thrower of the football, which is the main job of the quarterback. But the fact that he's got his resume and that has become at least even a question to be pondered, to be asked, is absolutely preposterous.
So they've lost 3 consecutive games, but they were up 21-0 on Dallas, and they were in overtime against the Chargers. And if he doesn't throw his 4th pick of the night, there's a chance that they win the game, at least tie the game. Where are you on Philadelphia? I mean, in my opinion, Rams, Seahawks, and it's been like that for over a month, 6 weeks now. Green Bay is coming on strong. I mean, to me, Philadelphia, at best, is the 4th best team in the NFC, but do you still think they can turn it around and make noise?
I'm more encouraged that their offense can than I was 2 months ago. I came away encouraged from Monday Night Football. Yes, 4 interceptions, I get all that. 2 of them are on the receivers. If AJ catches that ball down in the end zone, they win the game. And so those are things you can clean up. I'm not telling people it was perfect, obviously not, but at least they did different things. It wasn't as boring schematically as some of their other games have been. They were more horizontal in their pass game rather than just straight line vertical. And so I think if there's things that they can clean up, they can get more competency in their performance. And I think that's a big deal.
I don't even know how to ask this, but he's a state of Alabama guy, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
At Indianapolis. I mean, Dan, what should I expect out of this?
I have no idea. I mean, we're talking not playing football for 5 years. If you had told me that, Daniel Jones was playing at his MVP type of level and they're going to go play the Seahawks, I'd be like, man, can you get the game into the fourth quarter? Now we're talking about Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, not having played in 5 years. Like, this defense is ridiculous. And so I don't know. I just candidly, I hope that he, as joyful playing as he is talking about playing, and also that he's healthy and safe. I don't think anybody, wants to see him go out there and get beat up. And so it's a monumental task versus that defense. I would love to give a definitive thing. I don't know how that's going to go and or look.
Where are you on J.J. McCarthy? Look, I think he's obviously playing under the right guy in Kevin O'Connell, and he looked really good this past weekend. And one thing I've never seen, and I know Brosmer was starting against Seattle, but how you lose 26-0 and then you turn around and win 31-0, that doesn't happen in this league. But McCarthy played really well against the Commanders. Where are you on his, how he evolves, and ultimately is he going to be the guy in Minnesota?
Too early to say if he's going to be the guy. I just kind of stated, I think even, we'll see what happens the next 4 weeks. Because of the lack of the consistent performance and the injuries, they're going to have to bring up in some legitimate competition. I think he needs to play. It's a young man that just needs a lot of reps, and he needs to get comfortable playing in the fire. He misses all of last year. He misses time this year. And so the need for JJ to have reps and the consistency of those reps, and not play 1 week, miss 3 weeks, play another week, miss 4 weeks. He's still such a young but talented, but young and just underdeveloped player that he's going to need to finish these next 4 weeks out, and hopefully he will be able to build off what was a mechanically much more reliable performance.
So I don't know if I was a Bears doubter or not going into Sunday, but if you were, I know they lost the game. But do I come away from that game like, man, this team belongs, though? I mean, they went to Lambeau. They had ball in hand with a chance to tie. I think they were probably going to go for 2 if they scored. I agree with the announcer, Brady and Burkhardt there. I think they would have gone for 2. I mean, I leave that game, I'm like, the Bears look like they belong.
No, I absolutely do. This was the most explosive run game in the NFL. They didn't have one against Green Bay. So credit to Green Bay. But if you're the Bears, you're sitting there going, we had that opportunity. We didn't necessarily do what we've been doing to other teams, what we're capable of. I thought Caleb made some big plays late, not necessarily early. So can they start faster? The defense settled down if they don't give up so many big plays, the big play right before the half. And so, I think if you're a Bears fan, you're encouraged and you're walking away going, all right, we might have been a little bit of a good story 4 or 5 weeks ago, but now we proved that we belong in the same field. Getting that big win against a good team is going to be probably that next step. They did it 1 week against Philadelphia. They don't do it the next week against Green Bay. But I think they're, at least by their run game standards, they're a playoff football team.
Okay, I'm going to do a layered NFL/college question. Best team in the state of Texas, first in the NFL, Texans or Cowboys, and then
Houston.
Okay, I agree. And then in the college ranks, the 2 teams that are in the college football playoff, Texas A&M or Texas Tech.
Texas A&M.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Dan, very definitive.
Yeah,
very quick with the answer there. I like that.
Have you already looked at the bracket? Can you go on and tell us who you've got playing for the national championship?
I think I would be surprised if Ohio State and Indiana are not playing the national title.
Wow.
Ohio State and Indiana rematch.
We've never seen that game.
Rematch of the national title. It was a very good game Saturday night. All right, he is Dan Orlovsky. See him all weekend talking NFL and college football on ESPN. Dan, thank you very much for the time. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys, later.
All right, buddy, take care. Dan Orlovsky with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Hey, I've got some dead wood from our man Tommy Spina.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got, Sherrone Moore still in custody.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what we had asked Spina, yeah.
He said he has not been charged yet. In Alabama, you can be held for 48 hours. The rule in Michigan is the same. He will be released or given bond when law enforcement makes a decision. I also got from Jody, one of our listeners, that in Michigan, the criteria for initiating a 72-hour psychiatric hold are outlined under the Mental Health Code. The primary criterion is the individual must be deemed a danger to themselves or others due to mental illness. So he could have a 72-hour hold there. I wouldn't think that would be, in jail. I would think that would be once he is released, or he would be transferred to that. But Spina said there is a 48-hour hold.
Well, there you go. That's the answer to the question. Yeah. I mean, they don't.
How many football questions is he getting asked right now?
Oh, I mean, do you imagine? I thank God have never experienced this, and it is my greatest fear. I hope to never experience it. But in his situation, he goes in the orange jumpsuit, right, or whatever.
Yeah, I can admit this now.
Okay,
I've been arrested a couple of times. I haven't been arrested since 1995, so it's been a really good run for me. We're talking about 30 years.
Yeah.
But back in my mischievous days a little bit, I spent the night in Birmingham one time, and we were issued orange jumpers.
Right, and you were in Gen Pop, right?
Yeah, I think there was
not
3
Gen
blocks.
Pop, but there was probably a holding.
I was in C block or D block or whatever, and it just is, guys just kind of hanging out and smoking cigarettes and talking. Put it this way, I went in with one guy, and I got bailed before him, and when we went back to get him, he went in with a Boston Celtics hat, and he came out with a Marlboro hat on. And I was like, what happened? He was like, well, this guy wanted my hat, and he gave me his.
And I said, yes, sir, and I took it.
Yeah. But, these guys are just hanging out.
Yeah. So it wasn't as bad.
No. And
Were
look,
you fearful? Were you fearful at all?
I wasn't. I was probably too young and stupid, but Sherrone Moore is all of 6'7", 6'8". He is a massive human being. I'm sure everybody in there knows exactly who it is.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And so the conversation, is probably, man.
To the point, I'm surprised if he's in with everybody else. I would imagine Sherrone might be in a different area.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
especially considering some of the reports around the circumstances.
Yeah, look, first call was to his attorney, his representation, and they're working behind the scenes to make sure that he is taken care of. But it is interesting he hasn't been charged.
We had a coworker once that told me he got arrested, and as part of the agreement, he had to do 5 straight weekends. They allowed him to only do the weekends so he could continue working his job. And he said it wasn't really scary. It was just loud. He's like, yeah, I would show up Friday at 5 o'clock and I'd get out Sunday at 5 o'clock. And he said, you would try to get rest because I'm only there 48 hours, so I know I'm getting back out. But he was like, it was just so loud. You could never really get comfortable and rest.
Yeah, we have a common friend, too, that got arrested. It's probably been 15, 20 years ago. And I was on a trip with the family then, and he was calling me. He's like, you got to get – and he was, panicked.
Yeah.
And he was at in Columbia, and he was at Shelby County. I'm like – he's like, dude, I just don't know if somebody's going to do something. I'm like, you are fine. You're in Shelby County.
There's very few jails you could be at that are safer than that one.
Ryan, we have an update on Sherrone Moore.
Oh, do we now? What's the latest?
Reported by Pete Nakos, Sherrone Moore will be in court and arraigned on Friday.
That's one more night in the clink.
Man, this is just going to be like a very, very extended walk of shame for him.
Yeah.
How many local news stations are going to be at a...
all of them with multiple crews. You'll have your sports guy there and your news. Your
and if this is just a misdemeanor, this is going to be like a very small courts. I don't know how often you guys have covered court stuff. I'm
Never.
sure maybe Scott has at some point a long time ago. These courtrooms are tiny if you have to go cover something that's not in criminal court. If this is just in misdemeanor, if it's not a felony charge, if it's just in a little misdemeanor area, this is going to be a tiny courtroom, I imagine.
Yeah, look, speculation is dangerous. I don't know all the details. We've heard some of the details, but, this might be of course, it could be a big Michigan fan judge. I was going to say it might be a little lenient just on, how embarrassing the situation is and how much Sherrone Moore has lost in this situation.
Yeah,
so,
it is. Listen, the punchlines are out there. I've seen the Photoshops of him wearing the neck brace. I get it all. But there's a lot of sadness that's around this story.
Oh, man, his 3 daughters, they're in school, some of them. And, their friends, what they're saying to them. And then again, his wife, Kelly, what she's enduring right now. This is tough, man. You know, it's one thing if a coach gets fired because they're not doing their job as far as wins and losses.
That comes with the territory.
Yeah, but and again, this is self-inflicted. This is all on him. But the repercussions for other people that you really are providing for, not only, immediate family, but you mentioned the assistant coaches and those guys that are going to have to look for employment.
They were just doing their job yesterday, and now they're out of a gig, potentially, unless the new coach keeps them. So that's the latest on Sherrone Moore, and that will continue to develop throughout tomorrow's show as well. We've got trash coming up. A reminder, if you have not checked out Alabama Power's new customer tools yet, you are missing out. They are absolutely free, easy to use, and here to help you save money and better manage your electrical service there with Alabama Power. What about Rate Advisor? It's a matchmaker for your rate plan. Bill Explainer, helping explain your bill in plain language. And Energy Assistant, connecting customers with savings programs and financial resources when they need it most. Check out all three tools right now at alabamapower.com.
Hey, and our friends at Crane U want to remind you, you can get the Crane training you need today. If you're looking for a new career or need further training to advance your current one, our friends at Crane U, they offer comprehensive, state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, forklift training. If you want to use your own equipment, the team at Crane U, they'll come to you on-site and on-location training offered nationwide. Make your job easier and your job site safer. You see us over there running those cranes on-site at Crane U. Crane U also offers certification, safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Classes available monthly. So call or visit our friends at Crane U. Call 855-CRANE-U. Visit them online, crane.com, and see what Crane U can offer you.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Before we get to the viewing menu, which I've delayed here, I brought up the Packers-Bears game. That Packers-Broncos game is massive. NFC versus AFC. We talked about how much better the NFC seems than the AFC. Technically the one seed right now. I don't know if you consider the Broncos the best AFC team, but technically the one seed against technically the two seed right now in the playoff standings.
Yeah, I actually think the best team in the AFC is the Houston Texans right now.
Technically the 7th seed in the AFC right now.
New England and Denver have those records. I was talking to somebody last night about the Broncos, and it's funny. It's kind of like Jalen Hurts. As Dan Orlovsky said, he's won a Super Bowl MVP. He's got a Super Bowl. But going into that game, I think everybody was like, yeah, man, he's going to throw up on his shoes, and, he's going to be the reason they don't win one. I think people believe that with Bo Nix. As good as Bo Nix was last year, there have been moments this year. It's really the defense that has carried the Denver Broncos, and
the Texans are a great example of why you don't punt when your team starts 0-3.
Yeah.
And because, to your point, they might be the best team in the AFC right now.
But again, you mentioned the three teams they lost to, right?
Oh, and they were all super close one-possession games. Could have easily won all of them. It was the Rams.
Rams on the road, 14-9, had
right.
ball in hand. They fumbled on that final possession.
Buccaneers.
They lost 2019 to the Bucs.
And then the third one was another good team.
At the Jags, 17-10.
At the Jags, yeah.
Yeah, their other losses, one possession loss to Seattle on the road in Seattle, and a one possession loss to the Broncos in a game they never should have lost. So, they are sitting there with the 7th seed. All 5 of those losses, one possession losses, and that's a really good team right now, especially the defense.
I am 100% with you. You can make a case for Houston being the best team in the AFC. Jacksonville has played well of late. They actually lead that division. They would technically be the 3 seed. But that Denver game that's a good late window, by the way, in the NFL this weekend.
What's great about tonight?
Lions at the Rams, Packers, Broncos, Colts, Seahawks would have been more entertaining if Phillip Rivers, is he starting the game?
Oh, we don't know yet.
Dan was talking like Dan thought he might start.
Have you seen the uniforms tonight for tonight's throwback game?
Oh, it's throwback. It's not the...
No, we got Creamsicle.
Oh, Creamsicle
We got
versus...
the Creamsicle, and these are some of the best, in my opinion, for Forster's Falcons.
Oh, Scott, it is your black jersey, red helmet.
And white pant.
Black jersey, red helmet, white pant. That is your best look, Scott, tonight.
Yeah, I don't know why they wear any helmet other than the red helmet.
Agree completely.
Hey, but that with the Creamsicle, that's going to pop tonight.
Yeah, I like that uniform. That's a good uniform combo. Creamsicle and helmet.
Hey, am I a sicko that I check what the Rams are wearing every week?
Well, y'all change it up enough. I know what unless it's throwback, I know the terrible uniform the Dolphins are wearing, so I don't have to check. But y'all change it up some. So
yeah, no, we do.
Yeah.
I don't know why we wear that blue pant. The yellow pant is by far the best, or the bone.
Let's do the Michelson viewing menu. I feel like I'm putting Tyler in a bind because Tyler keeps disappearing on me. I don't know what he's doing, so I don't want to screw him up. Am I putting you in a bind here to do the viewing menu?
No, it's all good.
Okay, Michelson brings you the viewing menu every day.
Make the phone call I made way back in 2003. I wore the contacts for a decade. I was wasting money each and every year. Had the 2200 vision, legally blind without the aid of contacts. Got the procedure done, 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right. First off, as I mentioned earlier in 4 Downs, The Shining will be re-releasing for its 45th anniversary. One of the greatest movies of all time. and I'm happy that I'll finally get to see it on the biggest screen in town.
You know, I would assume that you went into The Shining, you know, knowing that there was a buzz, and a lot of people talked about how, you know, Stanley Kubrick obviously speaks for himself, and how a lot of people believed it was the greatest horror film of all time. You know, when it came out, critics hated it.
Oh, I'm sure. Stephen King hated it too.
Yeah,
I believe it was nominated and may have won a few different Razzies.
Shelley Duvall, I think, won the Razzie for Best
That's
Actress.
insane to me.
Yeah. And when you look back, like, I don't get it. And again, I saw it in the theater when it came out in 1980, and it scared me to death. I didn't know what a good or bad movie was back then, but I will go see this again.
Yeah, it's also a movie that I think takes multiple viewings to even approach
so many things.
Understanding all of it.
Yeah, and the documentary room
237.
Yeah, 237. I mean, some of the theories in that, it just opens your eyes to new things. So when I go back and watch it, I'm catching, literally, I've seen it probably 25, 30 times, and I catch something new almost every time.
Yep, same here. And then next up tonight, we've got a new release called Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's a remake of a 1984 film. And the premise is, when Billy witnesses his parents' grisly murder at the hands of Santa, it ignites a lifelong mission to spread holiday fear. Every Christmas, he dons the red suit and embarks on a blood-soaked massacre to feed his twisted sense of justice. I haven't seen any marketing for this. I have no idea where it came from.
Yeah,
I've never even seen the original.
Yeah.
I saw My Bloody Valentine back in the day.
Oh, yeah. They remade that maybe 10, 15 years ago as well.
April Fool's Day was another one of these.
I haven't seen that one.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Thanksgiving from Eli Roth.
I never saw Thanksgiving.
I didn't either. It looks like my kind of stupid horror movie, though. And then finally on viewing menu today, Peacock has added The Fabelmans from Steven Spielberg to its catalog. Young Sammy Fabelman falls in love with movies after his parents take him to see the greatest show on earth. Armed with a camera, Sammy starts to make his own films at home, much to the delight of his supportive mother. I haven't seen it, but I think it's really cool that Steven Spielberg essentially just decided to direct the movie that's about his own life and how he got into movies.
I never
he would know better than anybody.
Yeah, I never had any interest to see it, but
well, all right then.
no, I mean, I just didn't. What is the last great Spielberg movie?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, he was on such a run from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s with Saving Private Ryan, and I'm just trying to. And I loved, oh my God, Minority Report.
Minority Report.
But that was in the 90s, I think.
2002 for Minority Report. He made West Side Story in 2021.
Pass.
Let's see. We got Ready Player One. I know some people who are really into that.
Pass.
It was never my thing. Catch Me If You Can.
That's a good flick.
There
you go. There it is. That's a good flick.
Yeah, but that's been almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
And Munich.
Munich was incredible.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, we're talking 20 years ago.
20 years ago for Spielberg. Guy needs to catch a break. That's the viewing menu. Greg from Pell City brings you part of the show as well. He is Greg Nelson. Here is Greg's cell phone number. If you need somebody to get up on that roof, make sure it's ready to hold Santa up. You don't want Santa falling through the roof. You want to be able to get to the chimney. 205-542-3531. That's 205-542-3531. For Greg Nelson, Greg from Pell City. Is your roof kind of ratty looking, like it's dirty and it maybe just needs cleaning? It doesn't need replacing. Greg does that as well, safely though. You can't just take a power washer up there and start knocking shingles off. Greg knows what he's doing. It can also help you in the event that the insurance company has to get involved with something. Believe it or not, Greg can give you all the details on that. And he can get up on that roof and see if you need a new one. 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, or on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. It's Greg Nelson. And Trash Today, presented in part by Company Distilling.
Hey, if you've been waiting to try a whiskey as good as the company you keep, now is your opportunity. I've got both the maple and the apple at the house. They're fantastic. You're going to have an opportunity to come see our friends at Odie's, and Company Distilling is going to be out there with an activation next Wednesday, the 17th. We're going to be there from 4 to 6. We'll be doing a live show from 5 to 6. Come join us. We'll have great specials, drinks from our friends at Company Distilling. For more information on this great product, CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama.
But there was a change at 6-7 with Oregon and Ole Miss swapping spots. How much of an impact potentially could it be on Ole Miss if it's determined they don't have their head coach in the field?
6-7.
But seriously, Rich, we didn't have any discussion.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, our friends from Bud Light. We start first with a movie. A growing petition is pushing the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to recognize a canine performer with an honorary Oscar. More than 43,000 people have signed a campaign supporting Indy, the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever who starred in the indie horror film Good Boy after the Academy affirmed that animal actors are not eligible for the acting categories. I have been thinking about watching this movie. Have you seen it?
I have. I think it's really solid.
Okay.
And the dog acting is genuinely impressive.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume by reviews that Brown would hate this, like the tomato meter with the critics.
Yeah.
Very high, popcorn meter very low.
Why would I hate it?
It's a horror movie, and there's not a whole lot of dialogue in it.
Yeah, well, it is a dog.
Because the dog's the main character.
It's a pretty dog, though. It's a pretty dog.
No, it's a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think I would like it. I would agree.
The push for recognition escalated after Indy's open letter appeared in Variety on October 9th, 2025. The letter sparked widespread conversation across social media platforms where some fans voiced support while others questioned the intent behind the petition. Quote, despite my critically acclaimed role in the recent film Good Boy, I have been deemed ineligible for the Best Actor category, Indy wrote in the letter, which ended with a paw print. This news feels as if somebody has yanked my leash short, as apparently I'm not a good enough boy for you guys. Petition is nearing its 45,000th signature goal as fans continue to rally behind Indy. This has got a lot more signatures than Fire Raheem Morris in Atlanta.
More people care.
So, In and Out, you just heard the 6-7, which is one of the dumbest trends ever, and the soundbite coming into trash.
I've seen video of this, though.
So, In and Out, they are opening restaurants right now around the Nashville area. You knew about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think the first one opened this week, but West Coast In-N-Out Burgers have removed the number 67 from its ticket order system due to the viral 6-7 trend. An employee at one of the chain's restaurants initially reported on Reddit that they noticed the ticket order system was skipping straight from 66 to 68. A worker at an LA location confirmed to People.com the number was removed a month ago. Removal comes after videos online show crowds of rowdy teenagers and young adults waiting for the number 6-7 to be called and responding by celebrating. 6-7 trend has no specific meaning, but it's commonly believed to have originated from the song Doot Doot by Skrilla.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
So here's the situation here. How much money are those kids spending? Probably not enough to shut down a restaurant.
$5 a piece at most.
That's right. And if I'm a responsible adult going to In-N-Out, which I don't mind doing, I've changed my stance on In-N-Out. Actually, I've clarified my stance on In-N-Out and then maybe not changed it. I'm not going to go in that restaurant full of kids. That's just the way it is.
So are you saying In-N-Out's overrated, and so you wouldn't go in there?
You're not going to get in a lot. I mean, depending on the time of day you go, because when I was out there last month, first thing we did when we got, the rental, before we went to the Airbnb, we stopped by In-N-Out, and it was like that, and it was Wednesday or Thursday night. I forgot.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard pass for me with that many people in there. I do like In-N-Out. All I ever said was it's not the greatest hamburger ever created, which is the way it was presented to me. In its field, in its class, which is the same as to me as a McDonald's or a Burger King, it's superior. I agree with that.
Yeah, we do have a place, and I don't know if you consider it fast food. I guess it is, but they've got a smash burger that is amazing. And Dunaway scoffs at everything. He disagrees with it. There's one by where we get our hair cut.
That's a good place. Yeah, I know Jim does not like that place. It's good.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it one of those burger places with the metal bar stools?
No.
Okay, good.
You're talking about a different place. Yeah.
What place is that? What am I
the
missing?
place I think you drug us all the way across Atlanta to try, and then they built one 5 minutes from your house, and you never go.
You're right. It was so good back in the day, though.
Yeah.
And I think they brought average to Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah. Every millennial joint ever has that. That was Tyler's joke. The millennial
all
burger
of them
joint
have exposed brick and metal bar stools. Burgers are $15 to $20 a piece and do not come with fries.
Yeah.
By the way, it goes 66 straight to 68, and then it goes 68 to 70 because they removed 69 a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, this
so they're
the story.
staying on top of the trends. Yes.
I guess. They need to stop retiring numbers. You only got so many, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So a Florida man accused of stealing a BMW convertible and crashing it at high speed told county deputies he had, quote, teleported into the car, according to body camera footage released by the sheriff's office. Deputies say 36-year-old Calvin Johnson was found with a bloody face.
Loved him in the NFL.
After the wreck on Monday, when asked how he ended up behind the wheel of the stolen vehicle, Johnson repeatedly told deputies he had, quote, teleported. Put your hands on my car, a deputy is heard saying in body camera footage. And Johnson replies, yes, sir, I teleported. Now, the incident began at Bicentennial Park in Ormond Beach, where a man walking his dog left his keys inside of a BMW. Deputies say the thief quickly took advantage. A witness told investigators he saw a man who appeared confused get into the vehicle. The witness said, quote, he kept asking for a light. I thought, how does he have a BMW if he doesn't have a lighter for a cigarette? Moments later, deputies say the stolen car was seen speeding at more than 130 miles per hour before crashing. Video shows BMW engulfed in flames as deputies pulled up and pulled Johnson from the driver's seat. Johnson then told a deputy, quote, you saved me from the aliens.
Wow.
Now he's been charged with grand theft, driving while his license is canceled, suspended, or revoked. Lucky to be alive.
Calvin Johnson was hard enough to defend as he was. Could you imagine if the actual Calvin Johnson could have teleported as well?
Oh, wow. I don't know if he'd fit in this particular car.
That's true. Or in the portal.
Look, you think this guy's a little loco?
I'd say. Yeah, I'm going to say he didn't actually teleport.
Damn, in the video, he also says the X-Men told him to do it.
You can't listen to them.
He feels no pain because his face is jacked up.
Indeed.
It looks like it's not bothering him at all.
He lost the arrest.
Police in Napa County, California, dressed as Santa Claus as they arrested two men suspected of stealing thousands of dollars worth of Christmas trees. With the holiday season in full swing, you'd expect a lot of people to be full of Christmas cheer as they gear up to spend quality time with friends and loved ones. However, it was also a time when the Grinches took over. Safeway store in Santa Fe, California needed police assistance as more than $2,000 worth of Christmas trees and wreaths were stolen. Robbery, which occurred at the end of November, prompted intervention from police who finally apprehended the suspects on December 4th. Police department announced the arrest on Facebook with one officer dressing up as Santa Claus as they reenacted the arrest for a reel. The reel also included the song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," as the Santa-clad officer stood with his arms out and the weapon holstered. Now, through the follow-up investigation, the officers identified the suspects as 29-year-old Kayla Daniels and 39-year-old Joshua Gonzalez.
Something funny about Santa packing heat on the hip right there. I don't know why it cracked me up. Is that trash?
That is all I've got.
All right. That is Trash Each Day, presented by our friends at Bud Light. We will close the show with a college football spotlight, and the spotlight will be us maybe looking like idiots. I don't know. Do you have the spotlight open, Tyler? Can you just hit a generic college football spotlight?
The College Football Spotlight.
It is the Shannara Spotlight each day, presented by our guy Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. They have recovered more than $2 billion for their clients. $2 billion for their clients. Maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of an attorney, Shannara.com. Shannara.com. It can be a confusing time for you, a scary time for you. Let Alexander Shannara take care of you. Shannara.com. Shannara.com. Our spotlight today is on us. We're going to spotlight us today in the spotlight.
Interesting. I have no idea where you're going here.
I'm going to go with the preseason Heisman Trophy draft we did. Do you remember doing this?
Vaguely, yes.
All right, Scott's got the results of our draft. We each drafted, it was a snake draft, and we each drafted 5 names. You've got the guy, but look at some of the names we drafted before you got the guy, Lance. Scott, do you remember who had first pick on this? Do you remember? I wish I could remember the draft order.
I mean, it was probably Scott. He got the Heisman favorite.
No, I think Brooks said it was Lance.
Lance went.
I don't know. I know I sandbagged Mendoza because I know nobody was going to take him.
No, you're right.
I'm pretty sure I went in order. This was actually the week before I was an employee here. I was doing this. So I'm listening to the show. I think I went left to right, top to bottom.
So how about we drafted 2 Ohio State players and still didn't even draft the one Ohio State player that's a Heisman finalist? We didn't draft the number 2 finisher, Diego Pavia.
Dunaway was definitely last because he was complaining about how bad his picks were.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a finalist in Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, he
More
does.
than I can say.
I nailed this, by the way.
Yeah. All right. So those of you that are listening, not watching, Lance's 5 picks: Cade Klubnik, Avery Johnson, DJ Lagway, and then he picks the guy that's going to win it, Fernando Mendoza, and then Colin Simmons. My picks, Jeremiah Smith. Not a terrible pick in hindsight. Ty Simpson. I was like, man, I'm going to get Ty Simpson, my second pick. Notre Dame quarterback C.J. Carr. I think I got destroyed for that pick, if I remember correctly. Jaden Maiava and Sam Levitt. Forrester goes Arch Manning with his first pick. Drew Aller got his coach fired. Lenoris Sellers got his offensive coordinator fired. Jackson Arnold got his coach fired and didn't even finish the season. And then Ryan Williams, who had a largely disappointing season. Scott, you killed it.
I mean, hey, now
Ryan
coming
Williams
out of this,
is on a milk carton right now.
Coming out of this, I thought I had the best draft.
You did not.
Did Jackson Arnold and Drew Aller even play a complete 12-game schedule combined together?
Maybe not.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Dunaway goes Garrett Nussmeier, which was the betting favorite, maybe? Was he the betting favorite at this time?
No, I think Arch was.
Arch was.
Okay, yeah. Well,
followed by Drew Aller, I think.
Oh, really? Well, you got the top two betting favorites. Caleb Downs, who had a tremendous year, but he's not going to factor into this. Carson Beck, who's in the playoffs. Jeremiah Love, who just missed the playoffs, but he's a finalist. And then Austin Simmons, who didn't even keep his starting job. Trinidad Chambliss. What if I told you back then, nope, Trinidad Chambliss is going to finish the season for Ole Miss? You'd have laughed at me. Boy, that was some bad picking right there.
Yeah,
but
really
congrats,
was.
you're going to end up with the winner, Lance.
Again, sandbagged.
So you knew you could get him in your fourth pick, so you went ahead
No,
and
I did know that I would be able to get him late, yeah.
Yeah, we were not Fernando Mendoza believers.
No. I mean, even I remember doing a pregame show with you guys before Cal played Auburn last year. And
I remember this.
I remember Dunaway trying to tell me, I was like, the much better quarterback is Cal's quarterback in Mendoza. And he was like, better than Peyton Thorne? And then Peyton goes out. How many did he throw 10 interceptions?
I think there were 5 in that game. I can't remember if all of them were his, but I believe there were 5 in that game. That was some tough. I tell you, one of the most difficult things to do is picking the Heisman in the preseason.
Oh, it really is. Almost impossible.
I mean, Mendoza started way off the radar.
No, there was not odds on Mendoza. He's part of the field.
Part of the field bet. All right, that's going to wrap the show today. This hour is always presented by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, champyschicken.com. Sterling and the entire crew there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. They've got the doors open, ready to serve you some piping hot food at Champy's Fried Chicken. Just good comfort food. Go get those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, the po' boys, chicken fingers, great sides. Get Megan to mix you a drink right there. champyschicken.com. Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. All right, we appreciate you joining us. Everything we've done is on demand. If you listen to us on audio on demand podcast, please set your automatic downloads. It helps us a ton no matter where you get us. Those of you watching us on YouTube, if you give us a thumbs up before you get out of here, that's appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Set your alerts so you know when we're live. And on social media, if you share our content, that helps us a ton as well. We appreciate you being willing to help us and watching the show. Alex Golish on tomorrow's show, 9:30 Central Time. On Friday's show, you'll hear the Auburn coach, Alex Golish. He'll be with us for about 20 or so minutes. So make sure you're with us tomorrow morning, all day long, but especially at 9:30. We'll see you at 9 o'clock on Friday. Have a great afternoon.